I'm Doug Brown. Cam Newton gets the start at quarterback for the Panthers Sunday against Washington. Newton made 124 starts for the Panthers before being cut in March of last year. Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray will be a game-time decision for the third week in a row. He's missed the last 2 games with a sprained left ankle. Lions quarterback Jared Goff missed practice for the 3rd day in a row with an oblique injury. It's expected that Tim Boyle will start against the Browns Sunday. Giants safety and captain Logan Ryan tests positive for COVID-19. He is vaccinated and is waiting for one more test. For now, he hasn't been ruled out for Monday night's game against the Bucs. Tomorrow on ABC at 3:30 Eastern, 15th-ranked Wisconsin hosts Nebraska. ESPN's Desmond Howard says don't sleep on the Badgers.
They can throw a monkey wrench into this whole scenario about what's going to happen in the college football playoff. I just don't take for granted that whoever's going to take, play in that Big Ten championship game is just going to walk in there and, dominate Wisconsin.
Desmond Howard on KJ and Max.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more. Plus, free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios. That's right.
Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, on the fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You pitch a better reload. Get the point.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot.
Here comes Theriot. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead 4-3 10.
104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN New Orleans.
This is legit, dude. Check me out. I got camo paint on my face.
Ryan Theriot hitless in 4 at-bats.
When it's 20 degrees, Matt, and you're sitting in a deer stand, it's freezing cold. Okay, you need a beanie on your head.
Our weekly visit with Ryan Theriot is brought to you by Bowie Outfitters. Bowie Outfitters, your home for everything outdoors.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by One Cigar Bar and Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Check out my Instagram feed. I just did that live at Matt Moscona on IG. Theriot's here a little early today because we got a little high school football playoff action, yeah?
Well, playoff action down in La Place.
Down yonder.
Yeah.
Who do the Dunham Tigers have tonight?
Dunham Tigers have St. Charles Catholic.
All right.
I don't know their
the Comets.
mascot. The Comets.
The St. Charles Catholic Comets. They're a legendary, historic program. Frank Monica, for a lot of years, was great down there at St. Charles Catholic. Won a bunch of games, maybe some titles as well. I'm not 100% sure about that, but probably. But, yeah. So what's the should I get a line from the Otter on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a good game. St. Charles has a really good defense.
Okay.
I think they've given up, Houston said, like 21 points all year. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but whatever.
That's really good.
So it's good. But he said the offense isn't great, but they just run, kind of one of those old school, like Veer type things, and then just play defense. So, which it's good. Dunham's more of the open it up.
Yeah. Air it out.
So I think I got a really good running back over at Dunham. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good game. I think St. Charles is undefeated on the year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In the 3 seed.
They're the higher seed.
They are.
Okay.
So it's 3 against 6 or 5 or 4.
And there's 6 or 7 teams in the playoffs? Because Bo 9 nailed that whole thing, right?
I don't know how this
nailed
works.
it, right?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
that.
got it.
I don't know the answer to that.
Everybody gets in the playoffs. Good job. But no, good luck to Dunham, for real, though. Hope that goes really well for y'all tonight. So Theriot's going to head down to Laplace, and we're done here at about 4:30. So we're kind of changing things up here. This will be kind of like hour 2. We'll do Kick Rocks coming up. We'll do Ask Ryan. E-Rock will be with us for the picks 1 hour from right now, so we got to get those in. Phil Steele, for those expecting Phil in hour 1, will be with us hour 3 today. So we'll change that up a little bit. So how else is your week going?
That week's going good. Yeah, no,
Is
it's
it?
it's a good week.
Good. I'm glad to hear that your week's going. I love it when you're having a good week.
Really good week.
Does my heart really good whenever.
A lot of good things happening with HUDCO, which we'll talk about in a little while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then just a phenomenal company. If you need a roof, you need to call HUDCO. Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
I just got another lead.
Oh, did you?
My buddy Eric needs a metal roof.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hook him up. I get all this. Yeah, I got it.
We got that.
But I'll get him to Sam. We'll get him in the system. AccuLink, so we're good. Got it.
2 to 3 weeks, he'll have a new roof. So.
Oh, that quickly?
Yeah. I mean, we're spitting them out.
Got it.
Anyway.
That seems fast.
Yeah, no, it is fast.
Relative to maybe other people.
It's really fast relative to others. But that's what we do.
Got it.
But there is one thing that bothered me a little bit this week. It's a little bit on my nerves, and so wanted to write a letter and just really. So this is more of an education type thing for you guys. You might be able to learn something from this.
Well, I'm taking notes. I'm not tweeting out the link to this for people to watch.
Okay. I'm
taking notes.
All right, so here goes. Dear guy that has information on the LSU football coaching hire.
I'm going to excuse myself, if you'll forgive me.
Please stop telling me what you heard in the back room at Phil's.
That's where deals happen, okay? Don't you dare speak ill of the back room at Phil's. I mean, that's where deals are consummated, actually.
I'm not interested in hearing what was said at your cousin's tailgate, who's friends with Scott Woodward's Uncle John.
Wait, I don't know if he has an Uncle John.
I don't either.
I need to confirm that. Okay.
Just because you've had season
John.
tickets for the last 10 years doesn't mean that you have inside information on what's going on.
True.
The donation email confirmation that you received from the Tradition Fund is not proof that you have insight, actually.
Got it.
And you don't have a lead on who the next Tiger coach, LSU Tiger football coach will be.
Yeah, no.
The ultimate icebreaker in Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas right now goes as follows.
I'm ready for it.
So what you hearing on the LSU job? Then this is what you get. Man, I like Jimbo, but no way we can pay what A&M's going to pay. Hell, he never won anything anyway.
God,
I don't want him here.
Okay.
Well, what about Kiffin? He's got too much baggage, and he's too close to O. Scott won't hire him.
Okay.
Bro, Scott Woodward's MO is hiring a big name.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Kim Mulkey.
Mm-hmm.
He did it at A&M.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he's talking to Belichick or somebody like that.
Bill O'Brien.
Then ultimately, just like the baseball job last summer, everyone in these conversations decides that they want a familiar face.
Okay.
Dave Aranda. Like Mike Bianco.
Mike Bianco.
Yeah.
Bianca.
Yeah, Bianco.
Got it.
Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda.
Look what he's doing at Baylor.
Look what he's doing.
Guy's a pro.
He's a pro.
We'd be champs in no time if we had Dave.
No time at all.
All he has to do is hire a good offensive coordinator, and we'd be beating Bama every year.
Nailed it.
Newsflash, people. We ain't beating Bama consistently until Saban retires.
Fact.
The only coach we can hire to beat Saban is Saban.
Why are you such a hater?
That ain't happening.
Why do you hate LSU?
I heard this one the other day, too. You're going to like this.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I graduated with Woody at Catholic. Woody. Yeah, I graduated with Woody at Catholic. We're pretty tight. We hunt together. You can't repeat this, but he's already got his guy. Hired him after the UCLA loss. Y'all freaking crack me up with this crap, man. There's 3 things that Scott Woodward is good at. Okay?
Right.
Making coaching hires. He's good at that.
Yeah.
Keeping secrets.
Yeah.
And wearing plaid sports coats.
Got it.
He's good at that.
Very true.
He's got a nice plaid sport coat everywhere he goes.
#pro.
Different color. So here's what I want y'all to do. I want you to sit back, relax, enjoy the holidays.
Yeah.
And let Woody do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sincerely, Ryan.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen, though. Did you hear the latest about Bill O'Brien?
That's where we're going.
Have you heard about it?
No, but give it to me.
Look at it. I mean, look at the rundown. 3:30.
Oh, well.
And Bill O'Brien, LSU? Question mark.
They don't like that.
We need that for YouTube.
They're not
I
gonna
got to
like
do the segment so Paula can put it up on YouTube. You know how many hits that's going to get on YouTube when I talk about Bill O'Brien? by the way.
Hey, man, what you hearing on the LSU job?
Back on October the 9th, you know what 4 names I tweeted?
Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Mel Tucker.
No.
Bill O'Brien.
Yep. James Franklin, Luke Fickle were the others. Those are the first 4 names I heard.
James Franklin and Luke Fickle.
First 4 names I heard. Maybe that's the guy that your buddy, who you know, who's buddies with Woody, who they hunt together and went to school at Catholic, that he's already got his guy and has since UCLA. Maybe it was Bill O'Brien.
Maybe it was Bill O'Brien.
Maybe he's had him the whole time. Maybe he's had a done deal with Bill O'Brien the whole time.
I don't like it.
Maybe it's done.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably not, actually. No, I don't think so. I think they're going to wait and see how these next 2 weeks of games play out.
Yep. So what you hearing on the LSU job?
I was earlier today at the Baton Rouge General Hospital.
How many times do you get that question a day?
I mean, to what you just described about the icebreaker, and the worst actually is when people text me, hey, I have a friend who ... What can you confirm?
Mm-hmm.
Like, first of all, if I could confirm that, why would I confirm that to you via text? I wouldn't.
So the world can see.
I wouldn't confirm that to you via text. Like,
well, at the HUDCO meeting that we had earlier this week.
So I just ignore everybody.
That was an icebreaker. I don't know if you might not even remember this.
No, I do. And I just was very, very uncomfortable.
But our guy Tilly, love him to death. Terrible diet, but I love him.
Yeah.
Our guy Tilly goes, so hey, Matt, what you hearing on the LSU job?
I don't know if you like if there was a recording of that conversation in the room, my answers were all about 3 seconds long. It was my nonverbal cues that were sort of a tell, like, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation. Can we please move on?
Stop.
Without me saying, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation. Can we please move on?
Let's just talk about something else.
Yeah. But Tilly's slinging some roofs, though, huh?
That's what he does.
How about that? Yeah. Gangster.
He's a G with it.
He is. All right, it's after further review. We'll do Kick Rocks. Paul wasn't here last week on Friday. Taylor was. So I think there was we didn't actually keep track of the games. So we'll just reset the standings from 2 weeks ago with me in a 1-game lead. That's what we'll do. I don't think anybody remembers what happened last Friday.
You had a bad week?
I don't even know.
Oh.
I don't. Does anybody know? Paul, do you know? I don't think anybody knows.
Paul's got it.
Nobody knows or remembers. So we'll just skip last week and just keep the standings from the week before when I had a 1-game lead, and then we'll just pick up from there.
Well, let's see if Eric is okay with it. I mean, I'm fine with it. Whatever.
Okay. All right. We'll continue. Kick Rocks is next.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Hey, I got a question for you, Mr. The Riot.
Okay.
The storm came through. Obviously, we work with HUDCO. A lot of people filing insurance claims. How many people throughout this process of getting people's insurance claims approved realized what their hurricane deductible was and was shocked by it?
I'd say less than 5% knew what their hurricane deductible was, and 100% were shocked by it.
Because of how high it is?
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of people got that lesson when Ida rolled through.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk about better coverage, in many instances, it's what if they can find insurance for you that reduces your hurricane deductible from 5% to a flat $1,500? Yeah, huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that. I mean, some people's hurricane deductibles are north of $10,000, $20,000.
I've seen 40.
Yeah, not good. Better coverage for less money. Insurance Network of Louisiana. Let them shop for free to get you better coverage for less money. Call right now, 293-0450.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Right now, at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get a new Highlander with 1.9% financing for 72 months, or we have several new Tundras in stock with the 5.7 V8 engine. So come see us today for your new Toyota. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can. Understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, the Riot Radio Hour with Ryan Theriot and Matt Moscona, presented by Bowie Outfitters.
Hey, by the way, what's going on over at Bowie Outfitters today?
Probably not going to want to hear this, but the Black Friday deals have already started at Bowie.
What?
It's started today.
Shut your mouth right now.
And
shut your mouth when
you're not familiar with Black Friday at Bowie. If you haven't been there before, you have to go. It's amazing. Everything.
Oh, that's
I'm talking
today. It started yesterday.
Look how long it goes.
Thursday the 18th through Sunday the 28th. My God.
I don't know how they make any money because they basically give everything away for 10 days. Specifically, duck decoys are now 25% off, all of them.
My God.
Moultrie Delta cellular cameras. You ready for this?
What?
$79.99.
Oh.
Great Christmas gift right there. The Muddy Skybox Deluxe Ladder Stand. Good stand. I like them. I've been in those. $179. The Vortex Copperhead Rifle Scopes. Got to have a scope.
Don't tell me.
$129.
Stop lying.
Yep.
You just stop it right now.
You can finish your Christmas shopping literally in 30 minutes at Bowie Outfitters.
30 minutes.
Yeah. Plus many more deals throughout the store. Prices are good through November the 28th.
That's so good. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mr. The Riot.
Yep.
If you were a place kicker in the NFL, you get paid to kick and make extra points and field goals. And you miss 2 PATs in a weekend and your team loses by 2. What do you think is going to happen to that person?
You probably get whacked.
Yeah. Brian Johnson. See ya.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Nick Underhill. Saints have waived kicker Brian Johnson.
Beat it.
You're fired.
In no way is this in any way surprising. They brought Brett Maher back, signed him to the practice squad. Remember, Maher was here earlier and they waived him, and now he's back again. This is awful. I mean, Peyton and them kickers has never gotten along well. I mean,
Didn't we have a guy that was pretty good for a while?
Will Lutz.
Okay,
who's
and he's
really
still
good.
kicking.
But he's hurt. Will Lutz is hurt. Will Lutz has an abdominal injury. He had surgery. He's done for the year. So, yeah, he's out. He's done for the whole season. So this whole season's been one big nut punch. I mean, it's what it is. Like, it's a swift kick to the gonads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's hurt. So, I mean, the news today, if you missed it, is Kamara didn't practice today.
But we knew that, huh?
He was back Wednesday limited, and then he didn't practice yesterday. So I thought maybe this gave him a day off, but no, like he's out. So Kamara, I mean, he's not officially been ruled out yet, but well, actually, I need to see the injury report, but to make sure since they've released it. But It's bad news bears, brother. Kamara, Armstead, Ramchick, Malcolm Roach, Tano Passanio. Forgive me, this is official now. They've all been ruled out. This is official via the injury report. So, Ty Montgomery, Teron Armstead, Ryan Ramchick, Malcolm Roach, Tano Passanio, Alvin Kamara, all out for the game. Taysom Hill questionable.
They should Kamara definitely shouldn't play. He's the only one that's really any good. He needs to shut it down.
Come on, man. The offensive tackles, Armstead and Ramchick, are two of the best in the
Okay, yeah, that's right. Ramchick guy's good.
Yeah, he's probably the best right tackle in football.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have 3 starting offensive linemen out, 2 rotational defensive linemen out, your best offensive player out, a receiver, a guy at the position that you're thinnest out. No bueno, man.
Who are we playing?
The Eagles. The Eagles are 4-6. They're 0-4 at home this year. I mean, the Eagles are not a great team, but they did beat you last year. Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders both rushed for over 100 yards against the Saints last year.
I remember that game.
It was not good. You know who picked the Eagles in that game?
Was that Jalen Hurts' first start?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Your boy picked the Eagles in that game. That's when I was crushing my angle. Remember I had my betting angle?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, in Fuego, the sports almanac, my sports almanac angle went heavy Eagles in that game. I made a lot of money betting against the Saints in that game.
Biff Tannen.
I know, right? You know what injuries can do? Kick rocks.
It's now time to Kick Rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rock.
Presented by Roto-Rooter Plumbing.
NBA can kick rocks because they're so dang sensitive.
What are you looking at? Kick Rocks.
As a matter of fact, the NFL can kick rocks too.
We've got rocks. You know what to do.
In that case, then Matt's going to have to kick rocks.
Now let's see if Ryan Theriot actually prepared for this week's segment.
I'm going to tell myself to kick rocks.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
24 hours ago, RC was right here.
And
you know where he is now? NFL Live.
He's right there. Yeah. Where is he?
Basically the same thing.
Yeah. The New York Jets can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
They're starting Joe Flacco at quarterback this weekend.
You got a better option?
No, but the Jets can kick rocks.
Okay. Kick rocks.
So you got Mike White, who he had to kick rocks last week.
Yep.
He realized that when people blitz, that he stinks. They drafted Zach Wilson first, and because he had a good combine and can throw the ball far, and he stinks.
Well, he's hurt.
Kick rock.
But he wasn't good anyway. And then, and now Joe Flacco is the quarterback, who was a quarterback in the 90s.
No, that's not true.
Jets, you guys are brutal. Y'all can kick rocks.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
And I don't know if you saw this or not, but Carlos Correa, Platinum Glove winner, Gold Glove winner, Astros shortstop.
Is a Platinum Glove a thing?
I think he won the Platinum Glove
What's
this
the
year.
Platinum Glove?
It's like the Gold Glove, but better, but it's platinum. So he had a nice year this year.
I was like, wait a minute. Is there something I really don't like? Is there a Platinum?
Yeah.
Muse, have you ever heard of the Platinum Glove?
I don't know what the Platinum Glove is.
Google it. They got it.
All right, the Platinum Glove.
So, Correa.
It's like the Gold Glove, but better.
But better.
No, here it is. Platinum Glove Award winners. Hang on. I swear to God. All Gold Glove recipients are eligible for the pair of league Platinum Gloves, with the 2 winners determined through fan voting. The award debuted in 2011. I swear to God, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
It's been since 2011.
So Correa had a good year. I'm a Carlos Correa fan. I think he's a nice player. I think he's a really good player, actually.
Platinum Glove.
Well, he took some shots at Jeter, the captain.
El Capitan?
He did. Crushed him. Basically said Jeter didn't deserve any of the Gold Gloves that he won.
Ooh.
The captain. Easy, Carlos. Pump the brakes a little bit, big boy. Still a little early in the game. That's the captain we're talking about.
That is. It's captain.
Kick rock.
And then lastly, the Falcons can kick rocks for getting shut out on national TV.
Kick rock.
Todd McClure.
Hey!
And Matt Ryan can kick rocks. He's the quarterback of the
Kick
Falcons.
rock.
They got shut out on national TV. Big Roo, had a boy. How's your Falcons doing now there, Roo? Huh, Todd?
You
Talk
know,
to me now, big boy.
his avatar is like a Falcons logo, and it says, "We Dat."
Yeah. How they looking now, Roo?
Well, I mean, I guess he does still have the bragging rights because that awful Falcons team came to the Dome and won.
I don't like the Saints, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not a Saints fan. I can make fun of the Falcons, and he can't say anything.
I don't like you. I don't like you right now.
I'm a Patriots fan.
That's so stupid. Why are you? Because they won last night?
That's right.
I hate you sometimes.
And I like Alabama.
You're the worst. Are you done?
Yes.
AFR is brought to you by GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. GMFSmortgage.com. If you could save $100, $200, $400 $400 a month on your mortgage, would that be helpful?
That'd be helpful to me.
Yeah. Eric and I did that when we refied our mortgage.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. And we got to skip 2 mortgage payments. If you didn't have to make a mortgage payment for 2 months, how about around the holidays, too? What if you didn't have to make a mortgage payment in December or January?
Oh, man, you can buy a lot of gifts.
How about that?
Nice stuff.
Would that help you around the holidays?
Mhm.
Yeah. GMFS Mortgage. If you own your home, your interest rate's above. Honestly, if your interest rate's in the 3s, you should probably call. We got a rate in the 2s. It's crazy. Free money out there, people. Take advantage of it. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. I want to give a shout out. I was asked to give a shout out to Kyle Smith, the director of Perfect Game Louisiana.
Traction's finest, Kyle Smith.
What does he do at Traction?
Youth sports, man. He's there. Youth baseball, gives lessons. He's in it, man. Coaches a team, like whole deal.
Well, Kyle Smith is taking Louisiana teams. So it's Team Louisiana, 10 to 14U. So that means like 10U, 11U, 12, right? I mean, how does that work? 10 to 14U?
Yeah.
So it's like 4 different teams?
Four different age groups, yep.
They're competing in the National All-State Select Championships in Marietta, Georgia this weekend.
Bring it back to Louisiana. Bring the title back to Louisiana, boys.
So shout out to the young men that are going to go compete, represent Louisiana in Marietta, Georgia, and shout out to Kyle
Smith.
How did I forget Smith?
Kyle Smith.
How did I forget Smith?
He's my guy.
It's the most common last name in the world. And I slipped my mind. It's Smithed my mind.
Smithed your mind.
It Smithed it.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Smith. But congrats. Good luck to all those guys and the young men going to play out there. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Football Friday brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Theriot's out 1 hour from right now at 4:30 Central. He's got to head down to LaPlace to watch the Dunham Tigers take on the St. Charles Catholic Comets. Houston Theriot. What's he, starting linebacker, starting free safety, a little rover? What we got?
No, he'll get in there, though.
Yeah. Sophomore playing some varsity snaps, man.
He'll get in there a little bit. Yeah, so we'll see. We just hoping for no personal fouls tonight.
Oh, we've had a few of those?
We've been close.
A few things pop up on film that might have been.
Here's what I'm going to say about
flag worthy.
He plays really hard.
Oh, yes.
I mean, if you're a coach and you're coaching him, you like him because I mean he's
got that dog.
He
does.
The motor is there.
The motor is there.
He's playing really hard. Really hard.
Sometimes you got to be like, hey,
pump the brakes.
What do we call it? Controlled intensity is what our coaches used to call it. Controlled aggression.
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much control, but there's a lot of aggression.
Good. Got to get it out, man. Got to get it out. All right. It's After Further Review. Bill O'Brien. Possibility for.
Who's that?
Bama offense coordinator. Possibility at LSU. Talk about that next. AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. I love sharing great testimonials. And there's nobody that has more of them because River City's 1 Hour Air has more than double the amount of 5-star reviews on Google than the next closest competitor in the Baton Rouge area. It's because they've been around for 40 years. Todd Dickerson is one of the technicians over at River City's 1 Hour Air. This review said, Todd did an excellent job of explaining exactly what needed attention and why. Provided photos of the issues he found, recommended what should be done to address them. Very professional and knowledgeable. I am now a club member and definitely recommend River City's 1 Hour Air. 10 out of 10 all the way around. Shout out to Todd, to that customer, and to our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. Remember, pre-season heater safety check. Before you turn on that heater as the weather gets cold, make sure it's clean, safe, and efficient. River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, the Riot Radio Hour with Ryan Theriot and Matt Moscona, presented by Bowie Outfitters.
All right, rolling along here on Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Yes, LSU will play a game on Friday against ULM in Tiger Stadium. Interestingly enough, Warhawks is 4-6 on the season, but they have 3 games this season they've won when they've been a 20-point dog or more. So they have pulled some pretty big upsets so far this season. If LSU's sleepwalking tomorrow.
What time is the game?
8 o'clock.
Oh, they'll be okay.
Why?
If it was a day game, I'd say they might be in trouble.
I kind of disagree.
They'll be okay.
They've actually, they won their 2 11 a.m. games in Tiger Stadium. Or, well, they beat Mississippi State there at 11 a.m. and then Florida here at 11 a.m. They actually played pretty well in the morning.
Well, that's 2 big rivalry games that you get up for in the morning. If it's one of those sleeper games like this one in the morning, So has ULM been a dog in every game that they've played this year? If three of their victories came, they were 20-point dogs. What did their other victory? Who did they?
Well, they've been blown out a couple of times as well. They lost their season opener to Kentucky, 45-10. I'm sure they would have been a favorite over. They played Jackson State, Coach Prime, out of the SWAC, and they won that game 12-7. So yeah, I know, but I'm sure they would have been a favorite in that game. But they lost to Coastal Carolina 59-6. They lost to Georgia State 55-21. They lost to App State 59-28. So they have some pretty lopsided losses. But their best win is over Liberty. They beat Liberty 31-28, and that was the one they were a giant dog. They were a big underdog to Troy as well, and then they beat South Alabama 41-31. So they were kind of steamrolling toward bowl eligibility, and then they've lost 3 in a row now. And they'd have to beat LSU and ULL in the final 2 games to reach bowl eligibility, which I don't think is going to happen. But be on the lookout, man. You never know with that little Terry Bowden, man. So, there's a lot of chatter around Bill O'Brien and LSU. Do you have a feeling one way or another on Bill O'Brien?
I mean, I really don't. But here's what's his history? So he was a head coach at.
Okay, I'll just start that.
Yeah.
Okay, so to kind of recap, Bill O'Brien, for those that don't know his background, spent about a decade in college football. He was at Georgia Tech and some other place, Maryland, some other places. He went to the New England Patriots in 2007. He was there for 4 seasons, working under Bill Belichick with Tom Brady. When the Joe Paterno scandal at Penn State happened and Paterno was out, Bill O'Brien got hired at Penn State. And if you remember, that was a total disaster. Not only did they get hit with a bowl ban, they couldn't compete for the Big Ten championship, they got hit with scholarship reductions, and players were allowed to leave. If players could transfer and not have to sit out, they were allowed to transfer anywhere they wanted because they were put on probation.
Mm-hmm.
So they were gutted. And, I mean, they were basically gutted and left for dead. And Bill O'Brien had 2 winning seasons as the head coach, and in 2012, he was the National Coach of the Year because of the job he did with that Penn State squad. So he had success, and that ultimately got him the head coaching job and the GM job with the Houston Texans. And, you know, the thing about the Texans and his time there, it's interesting because we're so close to Houston, and there's a lot of people affiliated with the Texans or work in Houston or Texans fans that recoil at the idea of Bill O'Brien because personality-wise, he was not a great fit there in Houston. As a GM, he was atrocious. He made some terrible trades, and it ended badly, and the Deshaun Watson thing is happening right now, and whatever. But he got the head coaching job in Houston in 2014. He was there from 2014 through, he was fired 4 games into the 2020 season. He won the division 4 times. His wins were 9-9-9, then they went 4-12. Then they went 11-5, 10-6. They started 0-4 and fired him. But he won the division 4 times, had 2 double-digit win seasons. I mean, Bill O'Brien was a terrible general manager in the NFL. He was a really good football coach. I also believe that sometimes personalities don't play, that work in college don't work in the NFL. I think Saban's probably the best example of that, right? Like his style didn't necessarily work. The one guy in the NFL where that style still works really is Belichick. I mean, I think we could say that sort of grumpy, grimacy, dictator-type personality. It doesn't work for everybody else. I don't think, and it didn't work necessarily for Bill O'Brien in Houston. But there's a lot of boxes that he checks. He's been an NFL head coach. He's been a major college head coach. He's worked under Belichick with Brady. He's worked under Nick Saban. He's at Saban's wayward house for coaches right now in Tuscaloosa, where we've seen Kiffin and so many others cycle through there to sort of resurrect their career. A lot of that makes sense. I mean, he does check a lot of those boxes. There are fans that sort of recoil when we mention that name of Bill O'Brien, but I will tell you this, man, and I referenced it on the show yesterday, and this really started because Reese Davis of College Game Day made a comment where he said, I think Bill O'Brien is going to be the next head coach at LSU. That was his quote. Not, he could be, I think he'd do a great job. None of that, no qualifiers, just I think Bill O'Brien will be the next coach at LSU. And because it was Reese Davis, it got a lot of attention. I don't know where Reese got that. I don't know how valid it is. What I can tell you is, back in September, LSU lost to UCLA. That week, I started getting calls from boosters that were being approached about contributing to the buyout. It was evident that Ed was going to be gone. That's why I went hard that week after they lost to UCLA, saying LSU's never going to win anything of significance again under Ojo because I knew he was getting fired. And the first 2 names I heard were Lane Kiffin and Bill O'Brien. The next 2 names I heard were James Franklin and Luke Fickell. When LSU was getting the crap kicked out of them by Kentucky in the second half, I tweeted, and it's a great thing about Twitter is a record. Sometimes not a great thing, but in this instance it is. It was 9:11 p.m. on October the 9th, 2021, during the Kentucky game. I tweeted, I'll start James Franklin, Luke Fickell, Lane Kiffin, Bill O'Brien. I tweeted that on October the 9th because I'd already been given those names. Now, I don't know if any of those guys are going to become the coach. I don't know if Bill O'Brien's going to become the coach. I'll tell you flatly, until yesterday, I had not heard Bill O'Brien's name mentioned by anyone since that initial comment. 2 months ago, 8 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Like literally no boosters or agents or board members or admins or anybody, like media members. Nobody had mentioned Bill O'Brien's name. So could you believe the idea that maybe that was Scott's guy all along while everybody else was talking about everybody else? This was really the guy who won. Maybe you could believe that. I don't know if that plays. I think the fan reaction to that over the last 24 hours has been sort of repulsive. I don't know. I'm telling you flatly, like I have no idea. But what I have no problem telling you is that I tweeted it, more than a month ago. I heard Bill O'Brien's name very early in this process. Never heard it again until yesterday. I think he checks a lot of boxes. I think his style can work, and it has worked in major college football. There's a lot that I like. The concerns people have about his personality, I think, are legitimate as well.
What are those?
Well, the things that turned a lot of people off in Houston was that he's sort of rough and abrasive. Like, would that be endearing to fans and to boosters? I don't know. There were – it was just – normally when you see such an outward display – I mean, look, you've been in professional organizations. Typically when something leaks out, there's an outward display of disdain or something going wrong. Like, normally, I think you would agree that's something that has been deeply rooted and festered maybe for a long time internally. Like, could you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that was the culture issue within the Texans. But maybe that's just a guy that didn't understand how to appropriately handle grown men that are millionaires.
Yeah, and that's a point that we could sit here and talk about for 2 hours. Like, it is a totally different world. The college vibe and feel and culture, and then the professional vibe and feel and culture. I mean, if you want a coach fired and you're a good player on a professional team, you go in and tell the GM, I'm not re-signing unless you fire that guy, and they fire the guy. Like, that happens a lot. More than you would, not to head coaches as much as it does position coaches all the time. So, I mean, I could see where that's like a thing.
I want to be just very clear again. I am not sitting here today stumping for Bill O'Brien. Okay, I just am uneducated on his personality and the things that could be sticking points or deal breakers or things that could be a problem. I don't know Bill O'Brien. I haven't talked to people close to him that know him to be able to tell you with any degree of confidence how I think he would do. All I can give you is the 10,000-foot view of his coaching resume and say there's a lot of actually really good there. There's a lot of boxes that he checks that could work out really well.
Would you like him to be the coach? Like, would that?
I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm a little agnostic on it. I don't feel like I've formulated an opinion. I mean, because I don't know enough about his personality. The football side of things, I like the fact that he's been an NFL head coach. I like the fact that he's been a major college head coach. I like the fact that he's worked under Saban and Belichick. He's worked with Tom Brady. He's been a GM. He could speak to the NFL side of things when he recruits. He's certainly been in the college game long enough. He's an offensive-minded guy who's developed quarterbacks. Like, all of that, I like a lot. I mean, I like all of that stuff. But I think when you're talking about a college coach, there's so much more because really what you got to do is you got to get players. You have got to be able to get players here. I mean, if you're taking the LSU job, you got to be able to roll up your sleeves and fight Georgia and Bama and A&M and all for the 5-star talents, because that's ultimately how you're going to win a championship. Sure. And I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if that's a part of his personality that would allow him to do that. Well, so there are some things that I stop and I go, I don't. There are other things I've heard from people who covered him in Houston about his personality that were very negative. I mean, I'm not going to put it out there because it's unconfirmed, it's unsubstantiated, and I don't know personally. What I would do in time if this progresses, I would get people on who've covered him or know him well to speak to that. But that's at least gives you pause to where if you're Scott Woodward, you better go vet that. Mm-hmm. You better make sure that this is the right personality you want as the figurehead of your program. Because look at the mess you have right now with Ed. Look at all of the and I'm not saying it's the same, but look at all the off-the-field issues you have with Ed, which contributed a great deal to leading you to where you are right now with him being fired. And the on-field stuff, of course, is a part of it, but all the off-field stuff is what accelerated the firing. And, because normally, I mean, you win a championship, you get a grace period. But all of the off-the-field stuff accelerated this. So we'll keep an eye on it. Again, there are people who are putting it out there. Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio does stuff for ESPN. He's put Bill O'Brien's name out there as well. I mean, that's just one guy. I'm not saying. I mean, there's just a lot of smoke around it today. And how valid is it? I don't know. But I'll still maintain that whatever happens, LSU's going to play Texas A&M next Saturday. And by the middle of the following week, LSU's going to have a coach in place. They have to. They have to have. That's been the target all along, and they have to because of the early signing day. You've got to get a coach in place to finish off this class because 80% of high school recruits are going to sign a letter of intent in the middle of December. So I don't know who it is. I'm telling you flatly. People ask me, what's your gut feeling? I don't do gut feelings because I don't want you to hold me to something that I'm not confident in saying. But I think that list has very clearly been pared down, and I tend to believe that when you hear smoke, there's some validity to it from some angle.
You just said that list. So who else? What's the list? Kiffin? Is Kiffin still a guy that's...
I've been told that for Scott Woodward, Kiffin is a no. I believe that he'll keep calling Jimbo. I don't think that's going to happen. I believe there's a possibility if OU loses again, they make the offer you can't refuse to Lincoln Riley. I think that's a very real possibility. As I said earlier this week, do not believe that offer has been made. And also, I believe no candidate has been interviewed in person yet. So anybody suggesting that's wrong. I believe someone like Bill O'Brien could be on the list. Mm-hmm. And then I believe Billy Napier has become a very real player in this as well. Do you get to a point where you consider a Matt Campbell, a Mark Stoops, some of the other names people mentioned? That's not things that – I mean, Matt Campbell is one I've heard as a possibility. But, ultimately Scott Woodward's got to decide. If you get past – let's say it's Lincoln Riley. Let's say it's Jimbo Lincoln, right? Let's say you get past those two. Well, how do you rank the rest? In what order do you go? Because this isn't going to be a thing that drags on where you have 15 public, issues of I'm not interested or whatever. It's just not. That's not going to go that way. That's just not how Scott works. So he'll have his guy and he'll have it in short order. I'll wait and find out who it is. All right, we'll finish up hour number one with Ask Ryan next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com. That's the website. If you want a custom pool, you want an outdoor kitchen, fences, decks, bulkheads, they do it all at Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Maybe you got that dog or you're getting that dog, Santa's bringing the dog. You need to keep the dog in. You need a fence. Pinnacle can build you a fence. Pinnacle Exterior Construction, maybe really what you're looking for. This would be the greatest Christmas gift. What if it was a new pool? How about that as a Christmas gift to the family? Start that process now. Pinnacle can come out. They'll get your plans together. Get on the schedule maybe sometime after the new year so they can break ground, finish up the job. By the time the weather's nice, you're swimming. You're done.
Yeah. Cannonballs.
I wouldn't say don't call in May thinking you're going to be swimming in June. It usually doesn't work that way. Yeah. Pinnacle Exterior Construction. 757-6138. 757-6138 or PECbuilt.com. For Pinnacle Exterior Construction, turn your outdoor space into a showplace with Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
Right now, at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get a new Highlander with 1.9% financing for 72 months, or we have several new Tundras in stock with the 5.7 V8 engine. So come see us today for your new Toyota. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Yo, Jake here from Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. The place is going to be convenient for you during that inconvenient time, and it's even more convenient now. Now you have 8 convenient locations with the Bruley location just opening up. So go check them out online, patientplusuc.com, because remember, they are your place for your sniffles, for your colds, for your stitches, for your COVID tests. They have all that available over at Patient Plus. For more information, visit them at patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. The Riot Radio Hour with Ryan Theriot and Matt Moscona, presented by Bowie Outfitters.
Jeff on Twitter said, Ryan, leave at Matt Moscona. Let's have a beer at La Coretta's before the game. It's right across the street from the stadium.
In Laplace?
I don't know. That's what Jeff said.
I'm probably going to be coming in pretty hot, but if I were to go to La Coretta, I wouldn't have a beer. I'd get a margarita.
If we're being honest, there's not an ice cube's chance in hell that you're going to meet a random at a bar to have a drink.
Some rando?
You wouldn't go meet me at a bar to have a drink.
I'd go meet you.
No, you wouldn't. You'd come to my house.
I'd go hang out at the house.
You wouldn't. I'd say, hey, I'm running to this place. Gonna sit at the bar for a little bit and chill. Why don't you come hang out? There's like a 3% chance that on an odd day you might get a wild hair and come meet me. Like people will say, hey man, you think Theriot? I'm like, no. It's nothing personal. He just doesn't go places and do things.
I don't.
You don't.
I go to your house, so hang out with Drew.
That's totally cool. I'm all for it. I'm just saying, like, I don't take any offense to it. To each their own, but I just don't want people to be offended to think like, oh, Theriot's big league. He's a big league in there. You just don't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's really not that.
What's up with that, by the way?
I mean, I've just kind of been there, done that,
Yeah,
I guess.
got it.
I mean, I don't know.
By the way, Eric will be here in about 8 minutes. We'll do our picks. I mentioned earlier this hour, since Paul wasn't here, I don't think we had a score from last week. And I was up again. Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
So Patrick Email said, shameful. Iraq won't go for it. I just don't know what to do.
If they lost the scores, then they lost the scores.
They're gone. I don't know.
So we couldn't just go back to last week's.
No, it got erased.
It got erased.
I know.
That's unfortunate.
I know. And I write them down, but I throw it all away after the show.
And they take the trash out.
Yeah. Gone.
Oh, Erica might remember. She may.
I don't think Erica knows. No, there's no way she remembers any of the games we picked. She might remember one. She might remember a team she picked. She'll go like, oh, Michigan, they're good at football. They're football people.
Blue
I
and
picked
yellow.
them.
They're blue and
yellow. That's what she'll say. Jerry DeLucky asked Ryan, does Musso roll his own, or does he get help as 420 gets closer?
You know, that's a great question. But Moose is pretty responsible. I would imagine he's prepared. He probably rolled his own earlier today, and then when it's time, he just lights it up.
Taylor Hudson asked Ryan, who do you want the next coach to be?
Dave Aranda.
Why?
Because he coached at LSU before.
Got it. Ryan Dunn asked Ryan, when's the Riot podcast coming back?
It's coming. It's coming back after the new year. We're going to do a baseball podcast.
Greg Lehman asked Theriot, or asked Ryan, what's the biggest adjustment in your approach at the plate when moving from college to MLB? Good question.
Yeah, I mean, you got to learn how to hit with the wooden bat. That's the first thing, which is hard. And the sweet spot on a wooden bat is pretty small. So, I mean, that's the biggest adjustment, is changing bats.
Josh Higgins asked Ryan, Chicago pizza or California pizza?
Chicago for sure.
Ask Ryan, who is the best man for the LSU job? Why is it Billy Napier?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Billy Napier. And he wants it too. I think there's something to be said for that. I mean, I think he wants to be here, and I think that's important.
We did the whole he wants the job thing before. Let's not do that again.
I mean, I like it. I think it means something.
Ask Ryan, Nolan Ryan or the Rocket?
Nolan Ryan for sure. Not even close.
In what way?
I mean, he's a better pitcher, better dude, whole thing.
All right, we're coming back right after Sports Center. Pick'em segment. Erica, stay.
AFR.
Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. How about this? You know, normally when businesses grow, a lot of times like they get bought by bigger businesses.
Yeah.
Right? That happens a lot.
American dream.
Well, not at Michelli.
Oh.
At Michelli, they opened their doors in 1947, right there in New Orleans. And they've continued to grow. They're our country's largest distributor of scales, actually. They got 29 offices in 11 different states. Still locally owned. How about that?
That's big.
You walk into the door at Michelli in Harahan, walk into the front door. First office on the left, Joel McMullen, president and CEO. Last year during the baseball season, he and Sean McMullen, who played baseball at LSU, they drove up, went to the game together. On the way, he made time to stop at all of their customers along the way just to check in. President and CEO of the company. Still do business like a small business, even though they're as large as they are. They're Michelli Weighing and Measurement online, Michelli.com.
You know, our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime. Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
And your lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After producing touchdowns on his first 2 plays, returning to the Panthers, quarterback Cam Newton will start Sunday against Washington. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson back on the field today after missing 2 practice days with a non-COVID related illness. Jackson says he's ready to start against the Bears on Sunday. The Patriots kicked off Week 11 by shutting out the Falcons. Atlanta coach Arthur Smith.
We're going to continue to fight, and we're going to get out of this thing. And it's been obviously pretty the last 2 games haven't been good enough, but it's a long season. We got 7 games, and we're going to figure this out.
The Falcons are 4-6. Saints running back Alvin Kamara will miss his 2nd game in a row Sunday with a knee injury. The Saints play on the road against the Eagles. And the Eagles will sign tight end Dallas Goedert to a 4-year contract extension. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the deal is worth $59 million. Kevin Durant of the Nets will miss tonight's game against the Magic with a right shoulder sprain.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more. Plus, free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again.
Please, sir. I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. And Matt.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You suck. We're here. Glad you are as well. Make it a good one. Yo, bruh.
Yo, bruh.
If you're just joining us, Theriot's here for another 30 minutes. He's got to hit the road to La Place. That's Spanish for
La Place.
The place. So he was here in hour 1. If you missed Ryan's letter, kick rocks, all that good stuff, that was last hour. Catch it on demand if you missed it. You want to go ahead and introduce our guest picker?
Yeah, as always, this time. Former Sherwood Falcon extraordinaire. Recipient of the Sword Award at Bishop Sullivan. And sports fanatic, Erica Moscona. Erica, thanks for coming on.
Oh, glad to be here. But I've heard some rumors that Matt's trying to cheat and act like, because Paul was out last week, that now the standings are just imaginary, because I believe I probably whipped both of y'all this past week is what happened.
Well, Erica, you know, I told you, I warned you, actually,
that
this was going to happen.
Paul wasn't here.
Right? You were up one game last
The other
week,
guy
Matt.
was here.
Ryan
What was his name
tied.
again? The other guy that was here? Whatever that guy's. I don't even know his name.
Brain. It was Brain.
No, it wasn't. And that guy just didn't, I think, know to save the show. And
I have the show on
to make
YouTube. I went back and pulled
No,
it. Right there.
it's
Right
been
there.
deleted, unfortunately.
It's all on the tape.
Paul, hurry up and delete last week.
This is what he does, Erica. He tries to cheat. When things don't go his way, he cheats, because he's going to say, well, it's my show, and I do what I want.
Right, exactly.
It's my show, and I do what I want.
There you go.
Yeah, Yeah, so last week Matt was up one game.
All right,
so
Paul,
Ryan and
put
I
up the
was tied.
standings, all right? Put up the standings, Paul.
Yeah, what are the standings, Paul?
All right, last week I was 2-5. Ryan was 2-5. E-Rock had a winning weekend at 4-3. So she was down a game, and now she's up a game. E-Rock is at 37-33. I'm at 36-34. Theriot's an even 35-35.
I knew it. I knew it.
Don't you remember what happened the last time you gloated?
2 weeks now, I'm in the driver's seat. This
That's
is
not
amazing.
true. I was leading last week.
One game's not necessarily the driver's seat, though, Erica. Honestly.
Wait, what?
One game's not
Oh,
necessarily
no, it's the driver's seat, Ryan. I mean, that is the driver's seat. Because now this is the second time, though, Matt, that I am in the lead. I am on top
I see what you're
2
saying.
times now.
Hey,
she's talking about being on
that's-
top.
there she goes again.
And she wants to be on
There
top.
she goes again. I mean,
Stop it.
it's for later, all right? For later.
Erica, I don't care if you like being on top or not, Erica, okay? So we're talking football here. We're picking games.
I mean, there's
St. Jude children listening.
Yeah, there's kids in the car driving home. Come on, let's be.
No, we got out of school early today, so maybe they aren't in the car listening.
Let's clean it up a little bit, all right? All right, you ready to pick some games?
I'm ready because I cannot wait. I'm going to go from the driver's seat now to pilot of the airplane. This is amazing.
You could be the pilot.
Should be the pilot of the airplane.
The airplane.
Okay. I do not want to be on that airplane. All right. 11 a.m. Central Time, a big one in the Big Ten. Michigan State against Ohio State. E-Rock, who you got?
Well, Michigan State, because isn't that the guy that we're trying to hire, but then they gave him he's the second highest paid coach in the world now compared to Saban?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Michigan State. He's got a lot to play for now.
E-Rock's going Michigan State. Battle of one-loss teams. Mr. The Riot.
Ohio State.
All right, I am also going to take the Buckeyes in this game. I am not a believer in Michigan State's defense. I think Ohio State will outscore them. Give me the Buckeyes in that game. All right. In the ACC, Wake Forest, they can claim the Atlantic
They got me last week.
division. Wake Forest is at Clemson.
Ooh.
Wow. At Clemson?
Yes.
Because Wake Forest is what you beat me with Wake Forest last week.
I did. If you're
But we
interested,
almost won. Wake Forest. No. We came back. Whoever my team was that I picked against them came back at the very end, and it was like a 2-point game, 43-41 or something. I'm going Clemson. I don't think Wake Forest can do it again. It's at Clemson. Going Clemson.
all right. Erica's going Clemson. Mr. The Riot.
I'm picking Clemson, too.
All right, I'm going to go against both of you. I'm going to keep riding with Wake. I think Wake's offense. Clemson has no offense. Wake has an offense. Wake has no defense, but I don't think Clemson is going to be able to score. I think Wake will outscore them. I know the game's in Clemson, but a lot on the line for Wake. If they win their division and punch their ticket to the ACC championship game for the first time. They're in the new format. Okay.
So these two games, I could be 3 games ahead of you now by those two because we are different.
Or you could be losing.
No.
Iowa State against Oklahoma.
I have no idea about this one. I'm going. I think I've picked Iowa State in the past. But wait, Oklahoma, are we trying to hire their coach? Is that the Riley guy?
Yeah, we're trying to.
That's Lincoln Riley.
Got it.
But there's reports that we're also trying to hire Iowa State's coach. That's Matt Campbell.
I haven't heard much about that.
Okay.
She doesn't believe those rumors.
I know. Well, Ryan, your letter was legit. I
You liked
loved
it?
your letter today. It was probably one of your best letters ever.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, a good letter. I'm going to go Oklahoma.
All right, E-Rock's going Oklahoma.
Me
Mr.
too.
The Riot,
Me
OU.
too.
All right, we're all going to stick with the Sooners in this one. OU expected more out of them last week against Baylor. They have no margin for error now. I still maintain that a one-loss Big 12 champion can get in the playoff, but they have to be a one-loss champion. So Oklahoma would have to beat Iowa State this week, Oklahoma State next week, then likely turn around and play Oklahoma State again in the Big 12 championship game, beat them in back-to-back weeks. If they do that, I think a one-loss Oklahoma or one-loss Big 12 champion will get in. OU's still in the mix there. They are on life support. They dropped down to 13 after that loss, but I do think Oklahoma's in the mix. Okay, Erica, you know that I have to have Notre Dame on there, right?
We didn't have them last week. They were not on the board at all.
I don't know if they played last week. I think they had a bye.
Okay, maybe that's
Or
why.
maybe they played Virginia, or that was 2 weeks ago. I don't remember.
Yeah,
They
that's
either
your
played
team.
Virginia last week or 2
That's
weeks
your
ago.
team, babe.
All right, they're not my team. But Notre Dame is playing Georgia Tech.
Oh,
Georgia Tech sucks. This is going to be Notre Dame. I hate to pick them. I don't like Notre Dame. They always seem to do me wrong, but I mean, Georgia Tech, they're not good at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take Notre Dame as well.
Okay, clean sweep. Little Notre
I
Dame
don't believe
action
I'm
there.
taking those Irish.
Well, then take Georgia Tech.
No, they're not going to win. I mean, I'm in this to beat you now. I mean, I'm serious about it.
Okay. Auburn at South Carolina.
Wow, South Carolina's hot.
Are they?
Well, I mean, they lost last week to Missouri.
Oh, to Missouri?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Oh, they're terrible. Okay, no. Definitely Auburn. Well, Missouri is like awful. You remember with that game, I misspelled Mizzou wrong or something? Didn't they just join the SEC like 10 years ago or something?
Yeah, they did. They came in when A&M came in.
They're terrible. No, they're terrible, Ryan. I would not pick
They
them.
beat LSU last year.
Yeah, but that's
But
because...
Missouri, you realize Missouri's not playing in this game. This is Auburn against South Carolina.
Oh, why are we talking about Missouri?
Because Missouri beat South Carolina last week.
Yeah, no, still going with Auburn. Okay. Sorry.
Is Bo Nix hurt?
Yes, T.J. Finley's the starting quarterback.
Oh.
Who's the coach at South Carolina?
Shane Beamer in his first year.
Yeah, I never heard of him.
I mean, I have to pick South Carolina. I got to do something drastic. I know you're not going to pick them. So.
I am going to pick South Carolina.
No.
Do you want to switch? Here's why. I'll tell you why.
I think this is my chance to get a game.
Here's why. I'll tell you why I'm going to take South Carolina. Okay. And I may regret this, and this may be the one in hindsight that costs me this week. Because I'm pretty confident in my Ohio State and Wake Forest picks. I think I'm going to pick up games on Erica there.
Nope.
This may be the one where I lose a game back. But, because I do think Auburn's a better roster than South Carolina. But I'm kind of playing an emotional angle here where I think, and Auburn's a favorite in the game, but I think Auburn losing Bo Nix, now TJ Finley starting, changes the dynamic of that offense.
Sure.
Bo Nix running the ball was a big deal. And South Carolina, while I agree, is not as good as Auburn. They're not. No one anticipated them being in bowl contention. Had they won last week in Missouri, they'd have punched their ticket to a bowl game. Well, that was on the road. This is at home. South Carolina with bowl eligibility on the line. I think they get sky high for this game and empty the tank and try to win it. Auburn without Bo Nix, I think they lose a little something on the offensive side. I think South Carolina's going to pull the upset. I like Carolina. I would definitely take Carolina in the points if I was wagering, but I'm going to go ahead on a limb, and I'm going to pick South Carolina to beat Auburn in Columbia, South Carolina. Sandstorm and all that good stuff.
What time is that game?
That is, I think it's, is it 3 o'clock? I'm looking.
That's going to be the nail in your coffin, Matt. I can't wait.
It might be.
Hello.
Because I would have beat you by like the other
it's
2 or
6
3
o'clock.
I got
Night
you on.
game, 6 o'clock. Night game, Erica.
Oh, it's going to be
Night game in South Carolina, a little rowdy. I
don't
do
they
think.
play that?
Sandstorm.
Don't they do that song there?
Sandstorm. That's what I said.
Yeah. Oh, I thought
How
you
does it go again?
Sandstorm.
That's what it's called, Erica. It's called Sandstorm.
I don't know. I just call it that song.
Yep.
You want to give me a few more bars of it?
No, that's it. I think you know what it is. You do. You don't have the side of your mouth. Yeah, no. Okay, we got it. Come on, I want to pick Ole Miss again. We're doing an Ole Miss game.
No, Ole Miss is playing Vanderbilt. That is definitely not on the docket. We are not picking Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. Ole Miss is like a 35-point favorite in that game. We're not picking Ole Miss and Vanderbilt. You can just say the Lane Train if you like, but that's not. I get it, but that's not one we're picking here today.
Okay.
Oregon against Utah.
I'm going Ducks.
All right, Erica's going Oregon. Mr. The Riot.
I'm going to pick Oregon, too.
Also going with Oregon.
Yeah.
I am going against you both.
Wow, this is going to be a disaster of a weekend for you, babe.
I'm taking Utah at home. I think Utah is better than Oregon.
What?
I think Oregon has one impressive win all year. Their win at Ohio State, which might be the most impressive win in college football. But they lost at home to Stanford. They're not a great team, and they're going into a hornet's nest in Salt Lake City because that is a tough place to play at Rice-Eccles for some unknown reason. And Utah is going to win that game outright. Mark my words.
I don't like that.
Of all these picks, I'm most confident on Ohio State. My second most confident is Oregon for tomorrow. All right, one more, E-Rock. Oklahoma State against Texas Tech.
I like Okie State. They're the Cowboys.
Cowboys against Red Raiders.
I'm gonna go Cowboys. They won that big game for us right before we got married. Remember?
I do.
So I was kind of like, I'm always a favorite for them. Yeah, Oklahoma State.
I like the Cowboys, too.
All right, that is a clean sweep then. We are all going to go Oklahoma State. You kind of scratch your head a little bit when Oklahoma State lost to Iowa State. Their only loss of the season, a 3-point loss. Had they won that, they'd be undefeated. They'd be in the top 5. Might actually be in the playoff right now, but probably would be as an undefeated Big 12 team right now. But the Big 12 is going to be interesting to watch with Oklahoma State. Baylor's a 2-loss team, so they're out. But Baylor could still play spoiler. But Oklahoma State and with Oklahoma, each as 1-loss teams, still going to play each other next week and then potentially again in the Big 12 championship game. So a lot of movement still coming in November. All right, there you have it. So E-Rock is a game ahead with 2 weeks to go. We got this weekend and next weekend, and that's it.
This is amazing. And we never picked like a prize either.
Okay.
I mean, that needs to get done before I win. Because then I won't get a prize once I win because then we never picked one. So
a prize like you getting to go do your nails every week?
Yeah.
Or a prize what?
You don't pay for that. I pay for that.
I'm sorry. Did I not get a text on Sunday that was
That
like
was an accidental charge on the Amex.
Accidentally put this on your credit card.
Used your card instead of
accidentally used your credit card.
If I would have done it on purpose, I would not have texted you that. And after he took it, I'm like, oh, that's the wrong card. I'm like, oh, well, we'll just ride with it. It's good.
Are you going to pay him back?
No. It's just that he wants me to have good nails, I'm sure.
I don't care about your nails.
Yeah, you do. You don't have all junked up nails.
I don't care.
No, but we need like a good prize. I mean, we need to come up with prize committee or something to get a good prize for me to win.
Prize committee.
All right.
Work on the prize committee, Erica.
The prize committee.
The prize committee.
She's such an elementary school. Like we have to have the prize committee.
We don't have prize committees at school.
We have committees, I'm sure.
No, we don't.
Grandparents' Day committee.
It was
the
awesome,
fair
by the way.
The fair
Shout out
committee.
St. Jude Grandparents Day rocked today. It was so great.
All right.
All right. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Okay,
That's
bye.
Erica. This is After Further Review. One more segment with Mr. The Riot. Stick around.
AFR.
If you need to sell your home, call Darren James. Get your home sold. Darren James, among the top 1% of realtors in America. That's not an opinion. That is the Wall Street Journal Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America based on the number of homes sold. That's Darren James. He's actually in the top 100 in the country. How you doing? 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Buying or selling, commercial or residential, if you need to get your home sold quickly for the most money, you need Darren James. He's got the systems in place to get that done for you like he's done for thousands. 335-7666. Remember, working with Darren obligates you to nothing. If at any point you're not thrilled, let you have the contract free and clear. No questions asked. 335-7666. If you need to sell your home, call Darren James. Get your home sold.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggies in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy, step up your seltzer game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks
have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we got one segment left here with Mr. The Riot before he bounces. Houston Theriot and the Dunham Tigers in Laplace against St. Charles Catholic tonight. So we wish Dunham the best in all the area schools that are playing in the playoffs tonight. Really good luck to all the young men out there that can put it on the line in the state playoffs tonight. It's a great honor, obviously, to get to play in the playoffs. And here's hoping you all have a great time, make some memories. Congrats to the winners, and keep your head up to those who it all ends tonight. But be a good night, man. Some memories will be made. So LSU basketball. I know you want to talk about this before you bounce. Yeah. Do you want before you go? Do you want to give a pick on LSU ULM?
I mean, LSU's going to win.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think LSU is going to win. They're probably going to win by a lot.
Do you think that this? Yeah. I think this will be the most sparsely attended LSU game.
Yes.
Maybe since DiNardo.
Whenever we had the game,
I just sneezed. It's a good thing we've got the
bless you,
the Fresh Air Mobile here from mycleanliving.net.
Hey,
kills dozens of pathogens,
everything,
air and surface.
Yeah,
that thing's rolling. Basically, all the little particles from my sneezes just now.
You could have just sneezed right in my face, and I wouldn't have gotten it.
Well, if I'd sneezed in your face, I probably would have not been good. MyCleanLiving.net, by the way. MyCleanLiving.net. This thing's only like $199.
That's it.
500 square feet. Purify this wall. It goes everywhere with me. Put it in my car, my office, by the bedside.
COVID, done.
Yep.
Flu, done. Pneumonia,
Staff,
done. Staff, done.
Common cold,
done.
MyCleanLiving.net.
If you don't have one of those, you're stupid.
Kind of.
My mom's got one in her office.
I know. I put it there.
You sure did.
I delivered it. Hand delivered it.
And she brought it to Washington, D.C. and put it in her hotel room whenever she went.
I do that whenever I travel. I always bring it. Family vacay this summer. Brought it.
Oh.
SC Media Days. Hotel room.
Wow.
You ever seen the black light thing in hotels?
Yeah.
Right.
That's disgusting.
You want to kill all that stuff? Set that thing on. Go to the bar. Grab a beer. Wait about an hour or so. You don't even need an hour, but just boom. Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. Bing, bada bang, bada boom. All right. Go ahead. LSU basketball. Oh, we were talking about ULM. You think they'll win?
Yeah, I think
sparsely attended.
Yeah.
Now LSU basketball.
The game there was a hurricane or something happened, and then we ended up having a home game when we were supposed to have an away game, and nobody was there. I think it's going to be like that.
South Carolina.
Yeah, I went to that.
So that was in 2015. It wasn't a hurricane. There was flooding in South Carolina.
That's what it was.
And it was a South Carolina home game they played here. Mm-hmm. And there were probably about 30,000 people at that game. It is interesting.
It'll be more than that.
It'll
be
more
a night
than
game.
I think if they approach 60, I think you're talking about a half. I think the upper decks will be empty. The lower bowl you might be close to full. I think let's go 60 would be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, it's second to last. We're home against A&M.
Yeah, it's here next.
So it's a second to last opportunity to tailgate too. You know what I mean? So I think people that want to, go out there and get after it.
But I also think people could tailgate and not go in the stadium.
And just don't go in. Dude, I went when it wasn't packed a few times this year, and actually it was kind of
stretch out a little bit.
I kind of liked it.
You don't have as much traffic getting out.
That. It was easy, man.
Easy to get in and out.
Yeah. No.
Kick your feet up on the chair back in front of you.
Now, I don't know why, when I went to the basketball game the other day, that place wasn't sold out with the product that's on the floor right now.
I'm with you.
I mean, it should have. If you haven't been or if you don't go, you need to go.
It's coming.
This is, and it's not just the starting five that are out there. I mean, the dudes they were rolling out there to come in off the bench are like real guys. This Efton Reed dude is a monster. They're playing defense. Darius Days is skinny Darius now, and he can shoot. And he does this thing like with his face after he makes a three.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's real.
When you were in here on that Friday, whenever when I picked him to go to the Final Four, and I think right now, this team being unranked is, I do believe, and I'm not a conspiracy theory. I don't subscribe to that sort of stuff. I just understand the psychology of people that vote in the polls, and this is just a massive FU to Will Wade. Is the LSU not being ranked. There is no reason at all why this team should be unranked right now. They'll get the opportunity to prove it. They're just going to have to prove it more with wins over quality opponents, but that opportunity is coming this week. Liberty was a very nice win. They'll play Belmont next week. They're going to play Penn State. They'll play another Power 5 team in that Emerald Coast Classic, either Oregon State or Wake Forest. They're going to get Georgia Tech coming up as well. There's some opportunities there ahead where this team is going to be able to pump a little bit here. And they check every box, man. They got perimeter scoring. They got guys that can finish at the rim. They've got rim protectors. They've got length. Forced 27 turnovers yesterday.
They played
or 23.
Defense. I mean, and I was a big fan of Gaines last year. I know he does some crazy stuff with the ball, but his energy that he comes in off the bench with this defense, man, is just different. Will's got these guys playing hard. I said it on the way home. If they had one more like legit scorer, like a guy that
was Adam Miller.
When the ball touched his hands, like like a Cam Thomas, he could create his own shot and he could take a game over.
Was Adam Miller?
But isn't there a guy that's hurt that's coming back?
I mean, Sharif O'Neal.
No.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's not a scorer.
He's not a scorer, but he's still length. And I mean, Sharif last year at the beginning of the season did one of those in-house videos, and he talked about defense and rebounding is what he was looking forward to coming to do. And you get another guy's 6'9", big guy like that who can add that. I'm down for some more length and size. If nothing else, it's 5 more fouls.
Yeah.
But
I like fouls. Justice Williams, is he?
When Justice Williams reclassified is when we did the Final Four bid.
Is he here?
Yeah. I mean, he's reclassified, so he's.
Is he playing?
No, but that's.
Does he stink? Because you did the justice thing, you screamed it.
Well, do you have the? Yeah, all right. You have to add that, please, to a bar. So it was from Jay and Silent Bob was when Jay was screaming justice, and that's whenever we did the Justice Williams thing. But look, like I've said all along, I would feel much better if Adam Miller were on this team. I mean, he's on the team if he weren't hurt. I would feel much better. But the other thing I think that's very that's encouraging is the last 3 games, you've had somebody different take. Well, I mean, I guess you'd say Darius Days in the first game, but Will Wade talked about last Friday that he's like Alex Fudge saved our ass in the first half.
Yeah.
And then when they played Liberty, it was Eric Gaines defensively who really made the impact in that ballgame, especially in the second half. His length was an issue. And then last night it was Tari Eason. 19 points, 14 boards, 3 blocks, couple of steals. You know what I mean?
So I think he got into foul trouble the game I went to, and he didn't.
Tari Eason.
But good looking player for sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's a Cincinnati transfer. I guess my point is, every game there's been someone else who took over. Like last year, you knew every time out Cam Thomas was going to take 23 shots, and he was going to pace them offensively.
Mm-hmm.
This team doesn't have that, and I think because of it, they're forced to try to win in a lot of different ways potentially. But the thing that they are consistent at so far through 4 games is on the defensive side, they're giving incredible effort. And look, they made a lot of shots yesterday, so they were able to press after every make, and they just created a ton of pressure on McNeese, who's not very good, let's be honest.
Right.
But the opportunity, LSU's opportunities to make a few statements are coming in the next week.
You talked about that Liberty team too. I mean, and that's a good team. They're going to make but watching them in person, LSU is way better than that team. You know what I mean? I know it was a relatively close game. Actually, Liberty was winning at half, but it shouldn't even have been that way. We got a good club.
That's why Will was a little peeved about how it went. But Belmont, and then they'll go to Destin. They'll take on Penn State, and then either Oregon State or Wake Forest. They'll come home December 1st against Ohio U, the Bobcats, which is a good mid-major, and then they'll play at Georgia Tech. So they got some opportunities coming up here. They'll play Northwestern State, Louisiana Tech, Lipscomb, and then start conference play December the 29th. So keep an eye on this Tiger basketball team, and they should be ranked. And if they hold serve here at home against Belmont and then in Destin in those two games, they will be ranked when the calendar flips to December. All right, it's after further review. Mr. The Riot's got to bounce. Thank you for spending part of your Friday with us. Safe drive to you and the fam down to LaPlace. Good luck to Houston and the Dunham Tigers. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Go Tigers.
All right, we'll continue. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Guess what arrived at Clegg's this week?
Christmas trees.
You've been listening, haven't you?
No, but, I mean, it's that time of the year.
Yeah, it is that time of year. Christmas trees, the lots are filled. If you're ready to go pick up that Christmas tree, snag it. We'll have ours 1 week from today. That's our family tradition. We go on Black Friday to Clegg's, and we go pick up our Christmas tree. You can do the same. Clegg's Nursery, you've got 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. They have got the Fraser fir and the Noble fir, the beauty, the aroma, the family tradition. Christmas trees are at Clegg's Nursery. And if you want to brighten your holiday, outdoor Christmas decor is now 20% off. Garland, wreaths, light sets, it's all there at Clegg's Nursery. Go shop this weekend, any of their 4 locations. Segan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Clegg's Nursery.
And our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. But then you came along.
There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, so Muso will have Tigers in the pros in about 15 minutes, and then Phil Steele, who's normally with us in hour 1, he'll be with us in hour 3 today to preview the biggest games of college football. We appreciate everybody's flexibility. Theriot had to run early to get to his son's high school football game. As we mentioned, good luck to Dunham, Houston Theriot, the Dunham Tigers, and everybody who's playing a little high school football in the playoffs tonight. Okay, Muso. No, I'm sorry, not Muso. Let's go around the SEC. That's what we're going to do that right now.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Arkansas Razorbacks, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
My bad. Little out of sorts. We're an hour late. Arkansas is in Tuscaloosa. Last week, of course, Arkansas beat LSU while Alabama blew out New Mexico State. Incidentally, that same New Mexico State team this week is playing at Kentucky. Back-to-back weeks, they're playing an SEC opponent. Let's see. Alabama.
The Florida Gators.
Alabama's 21-8 all-time against Arkansas. This probably shouldn't be close. Bama, one of the best scoring teams in all college football. And Bama, incidentally, the third best rushing defense in college football. We know how much Arkansas wants to run the football. Bama's a 3-touchdown favorite.
The Florida Gators. The Missouri Tigers.
Series, how about this? They're tied 5-5 all-time in their series since Missouri's been in the SEC. Of course, Florida beat Samford last week, and Mizzou beat South Carolina. Both teams are 5-5, but this has a decidedly different feel of 5-5. Missouri's pretty excited that they're a win away from bowl eligibility and they have a chance with a win over Florida or next week against Arkansas. Florida, meanwhile, the motivation is, and can Dan Mullen keep his job? What I've been told is if Mullen loses the next 2, he's out. If he goes 1-1 in the next 2, If he wins the next 2, he'll be safe. So they got Missouri this week, Florida State next week. Do the Gators actually have any give a damn left? We'll find out tomorrow at 3 o'clock in Como.
The Auburn Tigers, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Auburn has owned this series all time, 10-2-1. Mississippi State, of course, beat Auburn last week with that dramatic comeback. No Bo Nix in this ball game. He's got the ankle fracture. He's out for the remainder of the season. TJ Finley starts for Auburn. He, of course, beat South Carolina last year in Baton Rouge as the LSU quarterback. Missouri last week beat South Carolina in Como. So South Carolina looking to get to bowl eligibility. They'll have to beat TJ Finley and the Tigers to do it.
The Ole Miss Rebels, the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Ole Miss is starting a Matt Corral for Heisman campaign. They're actually giving out stickers and buttons at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium tomorrow. Mentioned this earlier in the week, but Ole Miss is trying to go undefeated at home and win and continue their winning streak, which is at 9 at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. And this will be the first time in program history that they will have won 7 games at home in a season if they beat Vanderbilt tomorrow as a 32-point favorite. Ole Miss and Vanderbilt tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Ole Miss with a 51-40-2 all-time lead in this series. Let's catch some basketball scores from around the conference on Thursday night. Florida blew out Milwaukee 81-45. Tyree Appleby led the way for the Gators. South Carolina eked past UAB. It was 66-63. Eric Stevenson with 15 points, 3 boards, and a steal paced South Carolina. Ole Miss at home lost to Marquette 78-72. Nyzier Brooks 13-7 for the Rebs in the losing effort. And then Missouri beats Northern Illinois 54-37. We have seen some low-scoring games so far this week in the conference. Vanderbilt was the worst so far of the week. But Missouri beats Northern Illinois 54-37. Kobe Brown led the way with 13 points, 13 boards, 6 assists. Stat-filling night for Kobe Brown as Missouri moved to 2-1 with the win over Northern Illinois. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get every single week or every single day at Gulf Coast Office Products. The final Saints injury report for the Saints and the Eagles this week is out, and it is not good for New Orleans. There's no other way to say it. There are 6 players out for the Saints on top of the injuries that already existed. Alvin Kamara is out. Both of your starting tackles, Teron Armstead and Ryan Ramczyk, are out. Malcolm Roach and Tano Passanio are both out, as is Ty Montgomery, who had that sort of gruesome finger injury last week, out. Taysom Hill is officially listed as questionable after being a limited participant on Friday. For what it's worth, the Eagles' injury report cleaned up a lot as the week went on. Fletcher Cox, Dallas Goedert, and Davion Taylor, who all did not practice on Wednesday, were all full participants today. The only player that is out is guard Jack Anderson. Davion Taylor and Derek Barnett are both questionable for the game, as Barnett was practicing Wednesday and Thursday and then did not practice on Friday. So that defensive front there for the Eagles can be formidable. There are a long list of guys dealing with injuries, but the Eagles did, in fact, get a lot of guys healthy throughout the course of this week and are good to go. The Saints, the exact opposite. A mighty big challenge for New Orleans going to Philly. They were already extremely shorthanded, now even more so. I'll get you a pick on Saints-Eagles coming up in hour number 3. For what it's worth, the Saints are going to have to try to defend Jalen Hurts. They did not do a good job of this a year ago. Malcolm Jenkins, with the Saints media availability, did discuss that challenge of defending a running quarterback.
Whenever your quarterback runs the ball, you now have to use all 11 defenders in order to stop it. It's just simple math, right? Usually the quarterback's not part of the run game, so you're always playing defense with 11 on 10. But all of a sudden, the quarterback's running, now you have to account for him, and that it's 11 on 11, which changes coverage. So you got to decide, do you want to play single high, split safety? Do you want to go zero across the board? Where you're better in the run, but you're more vulnerable against the pass. He's not somebody who can't throw the ball. So it just creates a lot of a unique dynamic to add that third element of quarterback runs to their menu.
It's something the Saints did not handle well a year ago. Both Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders went over 100 yards rushing. That's what ended the Saints' streak of not allowing a 100-yard rusher, which had dated back to the Rob Ryan days. Actually, the week that Rob Ryan got fired, whenever Samaje Perine did it for Washington back in 2014 or 2015. I guess it was 2015. But it was a long streak for New Orleans that came to an end last year in Philadelphia, and no one has done it since. So we'll see if the Saints will be up to the challenge defensively on Sunday against Philadelphia. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com, as a matter of fact, was there earlier today. Hormone replacement therapy, a simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. Walk in. You can certainly schedule an appointment if you want to call. You can always just walk in. Free testosterone level checks always at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, still a lot to do. As I mentioned, Muse is going to have Tigers in the Pros coming up. We'll talk to Phil Steele in the next hour. I'll get you Saints-Eagles pick. Ed Ogeron met with the media after practice on Thursday. He did announce Garrett Nussmeier will take the red shirt, so that means it's Max Johnson's team the rest of the way. Should there be an injury, Matt O'Dowd, the walk-on out of Florida, will be the guy. We'll talk a little bit about what that might look like tomorrow for LSU against ULM. That's all coming up here as we take you home on a Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Stay here.
AFR.
We told you a little bit about the Saints, a little bit about LSU. The official banking partner of both the New Orleans Saints and of LSU Athletics is Hancock Whitney Bank. For more than 120 years, Hancock Whitney Bank has put their customers first, because Hancock Whitney Bank bankers are members of our communities as well. So they live, work, and play where you and I live, work, and play. They're as invested in these communities as you and I are. That's why for 120 years, Hancock Whitney's Bank, their mission has been, their mantra has been, your dreams, our mission. If your dream is to put your kids through college, if your dream is to start that small business, if your dream is to maybe take that dream vacation or honeymoon you never got to, Hancock Whitney Bank wants to make your dream their mission. HancockWhitney.com to find that financial center nearest you. HancockWhitney.com with branches all over the Gulf Coast. It's Hancock Whitney Bank. Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC, the official banking partner of the LSU Tigers and the New Orleans Saints.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Thursday night football. Patriots 25, Falcons 0. We talked about Russell Gage yesterday in previewing the game, though, that he might get a good amount of targets, good bit of touches with no running game for Cordell Patterson. No really receivers available, so he's really their only option. And he had 5 receptions off of 8 targets, was the Falcons' leading receiver with 49 yards and had a long of 19. So,
did he jump over anybody?
No, I didn't see him jump over anybody. But I only watched the second half because I watched the LSU basketball game.
Yeah, it was a little back and forth. And the Falcons and the Patriots was dreadful. I really liked also Otter and Hanny's pick of the Falcons +7. And boy, that was not a good pick. It might have been a little different. Might have been a little different if Younghoe Koo had a field goal taken off the board. He makes the field goal from 45. There's an illegal formation on the Falcons.
On a field goal.
They moved him back 5 yards, and he missed it wide left. And at that point, it was 10-0. It would have been 10-3. And so you felt maybe right before half, and then so Patriots had a short field. They went and got points.
I don't know if I've ever seen an illegal formation called on a field goal.
Well, you should have watched Thursday Night Football last night.
I watched the second half.
And you could have checked that box.
Like I said, I watched the second half, but not the first. Deion Jones for the Falcons, a slow night by his standards, but did end up with 5 total tackles and 3 of them solo. But normally the leading tackle on the team, bit of a slower night. Devon Gottschall on the other side for New England, he had a really nice night. 3 tackles, made the most of them. One of them was a sack. That was a little bit later on in the game. Sack of Matt Ryan. 2 total tackles for a loss and 2 hits on the quarterback for Devon Gottschall. NBA last night, Naz Reid, he was held out of the Timberwolves' win over the Spurs with what they're calling a sore right foot. So we'll keep you updated on how that progresses for Naz and his sore right foot.
Foot would have been sore if he stayed.
Or would it have been the left foot being sore and he would have been able to play?
Just wouldn't have.
Just wouldn't have been sore.
No.
Another year in the strength and conditioning program at LSU.
Nailed it.
Gotcha. No, I got you.
Nailed it.
NBA G League action yesterday. It's where you find Emmett Williams. He's on something called the Agua Caliente Clippers.
Ooh, that's hot water.
Hot water, yeah. It's Spanish for hot water.
Yes.
17 minutes last night for the Clippers. That's 16 points, 6 of 8 shooting, so a really efficient night. 8 rebounds, 16 and 8 for Emmett Williams, and an assist.
Does that say Agua Caliente Clippers of Ontario? So he's playing up in the G League, has a Canadian team?
Yeah. Agua Caliente Clippers of Ontario.
So it's
State University of New Jersey. That's what that reminds me of.
It's a Clippers affiliate.
Yeah.
Based in Canada, with the name Agua Caliente.
That's a lot. That's a lot going on.
A?
You get Spanish influence, West Coast influence, the polite Canadian influence.
I know.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Ontario's a hockey town anyway. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Thrill her with a little red box. You will go to so many different charity events all over town, and so many times you will see the little red box, because Lee Michaels for 40 years has been a member of our community. They are locally owned and operated and have been since they opened their doors. And y'all, we are getting near holiday season, and Christmas time is a time when many people choose to pop the question. If that's you, gentlemen, go visit my friends at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. No one has a better selection of the best diamonds in the world at an affordable price like Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com. They are magnificent at creating buying atmosphere. They want everyone who walks in the door to be comfortable. They can be intimidating, guys. Like, we don't buy diamonds all the time. And if you're looking to buy a beautiful, sparkling diamond that will wow her, there is no better place than Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. The highest quality diamonds in the world, and because they buy for 9 different stores, they get the best quality diamonds in the world at a more affordable price, which means you will get a great deal no matter your budget. lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Do you have a little football tonight? If you want to keep an eye on some college football, I am. Usually, I was surprised. So Phil Steele, normally with us in hour 1, he'll be with us next because we had to flip things with Theriot. Usually, with with this weekend, the penultimate weekend of the regular season, you get a lot of crappy games. This is the week before rivalry week. You get a lot of really crummy games. And it's when really a lot of SEC schools are guilty of it, of cramming the schedule with non-conference opponents, and you see these massively inflated lines like LSU, ULM. But I was pleasantly surprised to see this is actually a really, really good slate of games across college football this weekend, where you're going to have a lot of meaningful games. And the one thing I know for certain is when you get into November, upsets happen. Things we think we know that are assured generally get flipped on their head in November. You got some football tonight. Southern Miss is at Louisiana Tech. Memphis is at 24th-ranked Houston, who, by the way, is 9-1 on the season. They're 7-0 in the American, so a team looking to make some noise that Cincinnati could potentially have to go through in the conference championship game if they want to maintain their unbeaten season, so something worth keeping an eye on there. Arizona is at Washington State and Pullman. Pullman is, or Washington State's looking for a new head coach, one of the 6 Power 5 programs looking for a head coach. Air Force, Nevada, the 19th-ranked San Diego State, 9-1. And they are at UNLV. So you got a full slate of games tonight that you can dine on, and then starting tomorrow, the early window games tomorrow is probably the best of the day. You got the Michigan State-Ohio State game at 11 a.m. That's the Fox game on 11 a.m. You've got Wake Forest-Clemson, which I'm sorry, that's ABC. Forgive me. Michigan State-Ohio State is ABC. You got Wake Forest-Clemson, which Wake Forest can clinch the Atlantic Division of the ACC if they win that game tomorrow against Clemson. And I think they will. I'm picking Wake Forest to win that game outright. And then Iowa State-Oklahoma as well. OU trying to maintain their one-loss status. If they're able to beat Iowa State, beat Oklahoma State, turn around, win the Big 12 championship game, a potential one-loss Big 12 champion, I do think gets in the playoffs. So a lot on the line for OU in that game as well. So a lot of good games around college football tomorrow. Not many in the SEC, but a lot around college football that we'll keep an eye on. And we'll preview them all with Phil Steele when we come back. Phil Steele, of course, Phil Steele, College Football Preview Magazine. He's with us every Friday to preview the biggest games in college football. That's coming up next. Of course, LSU plays ULM. As soon as the game goes final, we will be live, T-Bob and I, at Don Juan Cigar Bar. If you want to come join us at Don Juan, feel free to come on out. Or you can watch us on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook page. Whichever you prefer, we'll be live at Don Juan as soon as the game goes final tomorrow. We'll look for you then. All right, it's after further review. Here comes SportsCenter. Phil Steele joins us right after the break.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. The weekend is upon us, and the weekend is a great time for car buyers because generally it's when you can go test drive. So what I would really recommend you do right now is shop online. Go to southpointvw.com. Do this first. Go to southpointvw.com. You can learn more about Sign Then Drive, which you hear me talk about all the time. 0 down, 0 to its signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. Just sign your name with little else. You're driving away in a brand new vehicle. You can shop new or certified pre-owned vehicles. You can even reserve your vehicle online today. But you can shop them online and then get by the dealership to test drive. Remember, you can even work out your financing online if you want. It's all there for you at southpointvw.com. And the pictures you will see are the pictures of the actual vehicle on the lot. I mean, these aren't factory photos. These are photos of the vehicle there at South Point Volkswagen, so you can see exactly what it is that you're buying. It's South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direct?
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
And injury lawyers. This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Panthers coach Matt Rule says quarterback Cam Newton will start Sunday's game against Washington. It'll be Newton's first start since rejoining the Panthers, and he'll face his old Carolina coach, Ron Rivera. ESPN's Todd Archer reports Cowboys wideout Amari Cooper tests positive for COVID-19. He is not vaccinated and will miss at least the next 2 games. Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield will start Sunday against the Lions. He's been dealing with multiple injuries. ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr.
Playing through what he has shows how tough he is, and he hasn't had, obviously, the players around him. You think about that offensive line that Bill Callahan's tried to piece together because of the injuries there. Guys playing it normally wouldn't or shouldn't be. The injuries to the running backs, the receiver situation.
Mel Kiper on KJ and Max. The Warriors are playing on the second night of a back-to-back against the Pistons tonight. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and Otto Porter Jr. all out. We've got an NBA doubleheader on ESPN tipping off at 7:30 Eastern with the Celtics and Lakers in Boston.
We're back on Monday, reacting to Week 11 in the NFL as Aaron Rodgers looked to get a big divisional win against the Minnesota Vikings, and the Raiders try to get back on track versus the Bengals. That's Monday morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Normally, Phil Steele's with us in hour number 1, but a little bit of a change today. Theriot is watching his son Houston play in the high school playoffs with the Dunham Tigers. Good luck to them. So Phil was good enough to be a little flexible with us. So we do this every Football Friday. Phil Steele of College Football Preview Magazine, of course, philsteele.com, STEELE. philsteele.com. Take the Phil Steele Plus Tour at the Phil Steele YouTube channel to preview the biggest games. Phil, thanks as always for some time. How are you?
You know, I'm doing great. How about yourself today, man?
Man, doing really well. Probably only have a couple of weeks left of the LSU season. Hard to see him make a bowl, but we'll get to that next week when we talk LSU, Texas A&M. This is one of those weeks, Phil, where generally a light slate as teams prepare for rivalry weekend, but there are some good ones on the docket. So let's roll up our sleeves and delve in, and we'll start 11 a.m. Central Time, the ABC game. This is a massive one in the Big Ten with Michigan State going to Ohio State. Phil, the only thing that's super surprising, I think, is the number. Ohio State's a 19-point home favorite in a top 10 matchup. So which team has their playoff hopes dashed on Saturday?
Well, I think it's clearly Michigan State. I mean, when I take a look at this matchup, a couple of weeks ago when we talked about Michigan State-Purdue, I said take David Bell, put him on your fantasy football roster. He ended up with 215 yards receiving. Purdue threw for 536 yards. Michigan State's got the weakest pass defense in the country. They're allowing the most yards per game, 330, and they're taking on the best set of wide receivers in the country. I mean, coming into the year in the magazine, I rated Ohio State's receiving corps with Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Jeremy Ruckert as best receiving corps in the country, and they had a lot of depth. But I didn't think Jackson Smith-Njigba would be leading the team in receiving with 1,000 yards on top of Wilson and Olave with Ruckert still there. C.J. Stroud having a phenomenal year. They will light it up offensively against Michigan State. And the Spartans have been contained. I mean, you go back to the Nebraska game, they had just 12 first downs, 254 yards. The Indiana game, 13 first downs, 241 yards. And last week, Ohio State led Purdue big. They were up 52-17 at one point in that game before giving up a couple of touchdowns. So I think Ohio State is clearly the legitimate contender. Michigan State caught a lot of breaks to get past Michigan at home, but I think here on the road they struggle, much like they did at Purdue. And I like Ohio State to definitely win this one by more than 3 touchdowns.
Phil, what about Wake Forest? Interestingly enough, if they're able to beat Clemson on Saturday, Wake Forest would wrap up the ACC Atlantic title for this season. Now, they're on the road. Clemson's actually a 4.5-point favorite. We know Wake can score. How does that Wake offense fare against that Clemson defense? Can Clemson generate enough offense in this ballgame?
Yeah, and ironically, I've been talking to Coach Clausen every year he's been a head coach in the FBS, all the way back to his days at Bowling Green. And he always gets on me for picking them lower and then finishing higher. So this year I picked him second in the ACC. I figured, well, he's not going to top that. And look at this. If he wins this game, he finishes first in the division and tops my prediction once again. So he's doing a hell of a job there. And also coming out of that conversation from the post-spring was that he said this team is deeper than they've ever been before, and that the last 3 years, if you look, they've struggled at the end of the season, the last 3 games. But he thought that wouldn't happen this year. They showed that last week with the win over NC State. They do have a vastly, their offense is a huge advantage over Clemson. And just last week, Clemson took on a weak defense in Connecticut, yet only put up 44 yards and 476 yards, 44 points against Connecticut, which doesn't sound bad, but when it's Connecticut, that wasn't overwhelming. Wake's defense did hold NC State to 482 yards last week, which, once again, not great, but Wake's defense probably not as bad as everybody thinking they are after that 58-55 loss to North Carolina, loss to North Carolina. So add it all up, I think Wake's going to have the better offense. I'll take Sam Hartman over DJ Uiagalelei, and I think they can go on the road and get the win. I like the underdog here in Wake Forest.
Interesting pick there. Let's jump into the Big 12, Phil. Iowa State coming off that heartbreaking loss against Texas Tech. Oklahoma, its first loss of the season last weekend against Baylor. Oklahoma looking to keep its playoff hopes alive. They'll have to win out. They're at home. Oklahoma's a 3.5-point favorite. Does Lincoln Riley and the Sooners, do they get it done and keep their playoff hopes alive?
Yeah, the price sure is cheap. I'll tell you, Oklahoma disappointed me last week. I thought that they would beat Baylor and probably beat them by a couple of touchdowns. I was very surprised. They basically got outplayed start to finish in that game, and Baylor beat them up bad. And it's been a very disappointing year for Oklahoma. But their disappointing year is 9-1 and still in contention for a Big 12 title and still an outside shot at making the playoff if things roll right for them. Nobody's really talking about Iowa State's disappointing season. I mean, Iowa State came in ranked in the top 10 at the start of the year. They've lost to Iowa, Baylor, West Virginia, Texas Tech. That's 4 losses that were highly unexpected, big favorites against both West Virginia and Texas Tech, favored big over Baylor as well, and came up short in all those games. In fact, they haven't been an underdog all season, and yet they've got 4 losses. So they've had an equally disappointing year. Their defense the last 4 weeks given up 390 yards per game. That's atypical for Matt Campbell, but it's legitimate because that's what's happening this year. So I think Oklahoma back at home gets things righted, and spread's way down there at 3.5 because Oklahoma has not been covering a lot of games this season. I'm going to take advantage of it. I like the Sooners at home to win that one by a touchdown or more.
Phil Steele's with us on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Phil, I want to check off a couple of November's always bizarre. There are generally upsets in November that sort of change the landscape of the playoff run. So there's a couple teams that are lurking. I just want an opinion on these games. Notre Dame's a big home favorite against Georgia Tech. Any upset alert there?
No, Georgia Tech's defense has been playing very ragged over the last 6 weeks, giving up close to 500 yards per game. Notre Dame's actually playing the best they've been playing. They've not only won, but they've covered 5 straight games. I think you'll see Kyron Williams have a big game. The offensive line's getting better. The run game's getting better. And they've got a massive defensive advantage. In fact, Notre Dame over the season is holding folks to 54 yards per game, below their season average. And Georgia Tech's defense giving up 38 yards above. But over the last 4 weeks, 140 yards above the season average. In fact, they're giving up 550 yards per game. So this is the Rudy game, as you recall,
Right,
Georgia Tech
right.
going into Notre Dame. But I like Notre Dame, and I think they win it by more than the 17.
Okay, what about Alabama's hosting Arkansas? They're a 3-touchdown favorite there as well, but obviously Bama controls its destiny for the playoff also.
Yeah, if you would have asked me this after Alabama's close win over Florida and after Arkansas' start to the season when they opened up 4-0 and just dominated a good Texas team. Texas was good at the start of the year and also beat Texas A&M and dominated both games. Arkansas had risen to number 4 in my average game grades. I would have been all over the Hogs at this price range. However, look at how Arkansas has played the last 6 weeks. They got blown out by Georgia by 37, lost to Mississippi on a missed 2-point conversion, lost at home to Auburn, beat Arkansas Pine Bluff, got past Mississippi State with 3 missed field goals by Mississippi State. And I thought last week LSU controlled things. They had a 20-13 first down edge against them. They managed to come out with the overtime win. So I've sort of been nonplussed with Arkansas the last 6 weeks. And, in fact, they're playing to an average game grade of just 100, whereas at the start of the season they were up there at about 125. Alabama, meanwhile, is playing to that big game grade. Despite the LSU game, they've been mowing down foes recently, saving 10-1 as a home favorite against FBS teams. That one would be LSU a couple weeks ago. I like Alabama to win this one by more than the 3 touchdowns.
Okay, a couple of other big favorites, Phil. I know these are big favorites, but again, just November sometimes wild things happen. Cincinnati, obviously, they're still lurking at 5 in the college football playoff rankings. This is a tough test at home against SMU, and Cincinnati hasn't been massively impressive the past couple of weeks. Are they ripe for the picking potentially?
I think the possibility clearly exists this week. Now, keep in mind, Cincinnati is tight, playing to defend their undefeated record. I don't think style points matter one bit to Luke Fickell. They need to just win, and I think he sees his shot at getting to the playoff. But they're in that category where they're playing with unbeaten pressure. Meanwhile, SMU, last week, they got back Ulysses Bentley, and Bentley is a big part of that offense. And we saw him teaming with Siggers, and he had 97 yards. Siggers had 93. In fact, if you watched the SMU UCF game last week, they dominated far more than their 55-28 win would indicate. They had 36 first downs to 15 for Central Florida. So this is an SMU team playing extremely well. Gave Houston everything they wanted on the road earlier this year. And, yes, since he's got the defensive edge, but I give the offensive edge clearly to SMU. The temperature's not going to be bad. It's not going to be 30 degrees or anything like that. We're right here in the Ohio area. It's going to be actually decent weather. So add it all up, I think SMU does have an upset potential, and I definitely like them plus the double digits.
All right. Phil Steele is with us. We're lucky to have Phil actually for 2 segments today. So there's some other big games we want to get to, Phil, so sit tight with me. Let me remind you about DraftKings. DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, and the DraftKings Sportsbook app is coming live to Louisiana. And before it does, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up, use the code Baton Rouge, and they will give you $100 free to play with when it goes live. Again, go to the App Store, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, sign up, it's free, use the code Baton Rouge, and they will give you $100 free to play with, no deposit required, just for signing up before the DraftKings Sportsbook app goes live in Louisiana. Gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP, 20 and over. Louisiana only. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. We will knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue previewing the biggest games of the college football weekend, including a couple of SEC tilts and the big one in Salt Lake City with number 3 Oregon visiting Utah. Phil Steele continues with us next on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, we're getting near dinner time. It's after 5 o'clock. If belly's starting to rumble a little bit, and you're thinking, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? Out with the old and in with the Bo-Roo. That's Bo-Roo Ramen from Electric Depot on Government Street. From our friends at Ichiban, their latest concept is Bo-Roo. We're getting down to 47 degrees tonight. You want to talk about a spectacular idea. When the weather is cold, how about a warm bowl, a hot bowl of ramen, authentic Japanese ramen. If you love spicy, get the Rouge. It's my favorite at Bo-Roo. Bo-Roo is fast, it is casual, it is affordable, and it is delicious. Every noodle is handmade. The portions are generous, and the prices are ridiculously low. It's Bo-Roo Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. If you want to get out and about and you want to try something new, get into the heart of Mid-City and try Bo-Roo Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling along. Very pleased to have Phil Steele with us, college football expert Phil Steele. Of course, get to the YouTube channel and take the Phil Steele Plus tour. Get some free selections as well. Phil's with us every Friday, usually in hour one. He's good enough here to spend a couple of segments with us in hour three. Had to do a little time flip because Theriot was with us earlier in the show today. So where we left it, we were going through some of the games of playoff contenders who could be, or big favorites who could be on upset alert. There's one more I wanted to get to with Phil. Phil, Michigan on the road in College Park against Maryland. The Wolverines are about a 2-touchdown favorite. What do you think? Do the Wolverines go on the road? One loss in the Big Ten. Can they hold serve?
I love sandwich situations when a team's off a big game with another big game on deck and they're a big favorite. That's the case for Michigan this week. They're off that big game against Penn State. They got to beat Ohio State next week. But I also love the matchups in this one. And if you follow Maryland the last 4 years, they're pretty easy to determine what they're going to do. If Maryland can run the football and get over 163 yards rushing, when they do that, they're 12-4 against the spread. They're 10-6 straight up. But when they're under 163 yards rushing, they're not only 4-19 straight up, but they're 3-20 against the spread. Look at their last 6 games. They have not topped 163 yards rushing, and they've gone 0-6 against the spread. So Michigan comes in with a defense with the with Hutchinson and Ajabi at the pass rush, and then also a very good defense against the run. My computer says Maryland gets 63 yards rushing, nowhere near that 165 level. Keep in mind, Michigan is 8-1 straight up, 5-0 ATS with wins by 32 points per game in the series. They also have a large special teams edge, number 7 to number 101. Add it all up, Michigan passes this test on the road with an easy win.
All right, Phil, a couple that have absolutely nothing to do with the playoff whatsoever. It's just my curiosity, a couple of SEC games. Florida's at Missouri. Florida is in a tailspin at 5-5. Missouri's trying to get to bowl eligibility, also at 5-5. This one's going to be cold, Phil. I mean, Florida going up to Columbia for 3 o'clock afternoon kickoff with a lot on the line for Dan Mullen. Does Florida get right?
I thought Florida was going to get right last week, Matt. In fact, they were minus 31.5. I thought the price was cheap against Samford, a team that didn't have an overwhelming offense. And at the half, I'm just like, really? 42 points for
42.
Samford at the half against 35 for Florida. And Florida managed to pull away and dance in the locker room with a 70-52 win last week. So I really can't expect them to just turn it around anymore. I really thought that we'd see a determined effort after firing your defense coordinator to come out and show a defense, and they didn't show it last week. Missouri doesn't have a great run defense either, though. I mean, they give up 5.8 yards per carry, which is the perfect setup for Florida. But Missouri does have some weapons. I like watching Tyler Batty run. I mean, at the start of the year, I thought this guy was small, wouldn't be able to handle the workload. Here he is with 200 carries, 1,247 yards, and he can run the ball up the middle. So, I mean, he is the complete back. Bazelak has not overwhelmed me this year, but this is a tough game for me to call, Matt. I think if you played this one week 4, I would love Florida, and probably by 21 points. But after the last couple weeks' efforts with South Carolina and Samford, I don't know if they can get this thing turned around.
That will certainly be a big, big factor in Dan Mullen's future. What about in Columbia, South Carolina, Phil? Auburn, they lose Bo Nix, so it's TJ Finley, the LSU transfer. They're at 6-4. They're on the road at South Carolina. How about the job Shane Beamer has done, Phil? I mean, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Vegas projection, the win total in Carolina was maybe 2.5 or 3. They're at 5-5, and with a win the next 2 weeks, either against Auburn or Clemson, they're bowling in year 1 there under Shane Beamer. What do you think? Does South Carolina punch their ticket to bowl eligibility?
Yeah, and, coming into the year, you figured they'd be favored over Eastern Illinois, East Carolina, Troy, and Vanderbilt. They took care of those 4, some of them closer than they wanted, but they got the wins. And then the Florida game is what really made this season for them, a game no one expected them to win, and they just came out and dominated the line of scrimmage with a 284 to 82-yard edge. So, yes, I think Beamer is doing a heck of a job. And it would not surprise me if they win one of these last 2 games, Auburn and Clemson, both at home. Neither team, Auburn or Clemson, has lived up to what anybody thought they'd be in the preseason. Auburn's had good games, no doubt about it. But the Mississippi State blown lead last week probably going to hurt them a little bit. They've got the Iron Bowl on deck, and they've got a backup quarterback making his first start there. We know Finley started at LSU. So I do think South Carolina has a shot at the upset. I would take the home dog in this one because they're playing with a lot of passion right now, and that confidence level went up tons with that upset of Florida a couple weeks ago.
Phil Steele's with us on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Make sure you take the Phil Steele Plus tour at the Phil Steele YouTube channel. I will tell you more about that. 2 more games I want your opinion on, Phil. One is just the massive one of the entire day. It's out west. Oregon is at Utah in Salt Lake. Massive playoff implications if Oregon can't get it done and keep their one-loss record intact. But Utah, Phil, actually a field goal home favorite in this game. Do you like the Ducks or the Utes?
Yeah, I got to go with the Utes in this one. I love their home field. It's one of the better ones out there, especially in the Pac-12. Everybody will be in red. It's going to be loud. They've got the altitude advantage to go along with it. And if you follow the two teams play this year, you know, Oregon opened up the year a lot of lackluster wins. They were outgained by Arizona, for crying out loud, 435 to 393. They were out first down by UCLA. They were out first down almost by California in a game where it was pretty even at the line of scrimmage. They barely got past Washington, and last week got the win over Washington State. Now, they have been playing better, but overall they haven't been impressive. Meanwhile, Utah, once they switched to Cam Rising at quarterback, they've been a different team. They had opened up 1-2 with a couple of losses to BYU, San Diego State. Since then, the only loss was to Oregon State, a blown lead in the fourth quarter on the road. Other than that, they've been fairly dominant. And last week, they put Tavion Thomas on the bench because they wanted to rest him for this game. He wasn't really injured, but I think they might have sent a signal to the team, hey, we don't really need our A game here to beat Arizona. So they struggled a little bit, but I think you'll see the return to the A game. They've got Thomas, they've got Pledger, a running back, really good receiving core, and the better defense and the home edge. So add it all up, I like Utah minus the 3 in this one.
Phil, last one for you. It is out in the Big 12, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. Again, we talked about the Big 10. They have like their 3-team round robin of among the one-loss teams. Same thing there in the Pac-12. So what do we think about Oklahoma State, ranked 9th, still in the mix? Can they go to Lubbock and get it done?
I think Oklahoma State's got two really good things going for them here. First of all, Matt, for many weeks I've been talking about the best two defenses in college football, which are, of course, Georgia and Wisconsin. And statistically, Wisconsin's actually a little better than Georgia, so watch out for the Badgers. But the number 3 defense in college football is actually Oklahoma State. They're holding opponents to 142 yards per game, below their season average, just 282 yards per game. They are legitimate. That's a legitimate defense that's been doing a great job all year. And the second thing in their favor, they've won 8 straight games against the spread. I've got a rule of thumb. Play on streaks. When you play on a streak, you can win many times. And guess what? You only lose once. When you play against a streak, you can actually lose many times and you only win once. So if you play on this streak here, 8 straight wins against the spread, very impressive team. And I'll tell you, their first 7 games, they didn't impress me. But their last 3 games, they really have. They're plus about 290 yards per game over the last 3 games. I give them a really good shot going to Lubbock. And the price is cheap. It's only about 10 points on the road.
He is Phil Steele. Phil, let's tell the folks about the Phil Steele Plus Tour and how they can get your analysis of all of the games at every level during the weekend.
Yeah, I appreciate that, as always, Matt. Just go to philsteele.com. When you go there, right on the top, you'll see the Phil Steele Plus Tour. It's on YouTube. Go ahead and take the tour. It's absolutely free, and you get yourself 8 free selections, plus some quick hitters. You'll get NFL, you'll get FCS, you'll get FBS, you get everything covered. A lot of free selections, and all detailed with complete analysis. Just go to philsteele.com and take the Phil Steele Plus Tour.
He is Phil Steele on Twitter at PhilSteele042 with us every Friday. Phil, we always appreciate you, man. Thanks for the time.
Hey, Matt, you have a great weekend, my friend, and good luck with that feisty ULM team this weekend.
He had to get the dismount. Of course he had to. Yeah, we did not pick the LSU ULM game. I'll just someone asked me, well, it was a text message. I'll just read it. It was from, they were asking me about attendance at the game on Saturday. And forgive me, I was going to, there it was Chris. Chris Keller said over under 65,000 at the game on Saturday. I'll say under. If it were an earlier kickoff, I think you'd have a bigger crowd at kickoff. It would say 6 o'clock. I think you could have a bigger crowd at kickoff that might wane. An 8 o'clock kickoff, it's hard for me to imagine you get 65. It's hard for me to imagine you get 70,000 people in the stands for this. I didn't ask and wasn't told the actual attendance for the game last week against Arkansas. I think last week we said I figured there'd be somewhere in the 70s. You know, there'd be fewer than 80,000 somewhere in the 70s. I think you could probably knock another 10K off of that, maybe more. It's unfortunate, but I also understand it. I mean, it's we talked about this when Ed was fired. The emotion centered around this program right now is not the remainder of this season. It's a lost season. The emotion centered is around the football hire. And that's what people are interested in. I understand it. It's going to be very difficult to get people to go watch 2 4 and 6 football teams play at 8 o'clock at night. So just the reality of it. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find that location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. If you go to the website, that's super easy to do because right at the top of the website, it says Find Location. So you just tap Find Location, and you can find the location nearest you. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. You can shop tires. You can even schedule service online at ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, I do want to get you a Saints-Eagles pick. I'll give you an LSU-ULM pick, but it's just, I mean, we all understand what it is. LSU's a gigantic favorite in this game. They should be able to roll their helmets out and go win it, but we'll talk a little bit about the game. Let's hear some of what Coach O had to say. We'll get you a Saints-Eagles pick as well before we wrap up here on a Football Friday edition of AFR. Glad you're with us. Thanks for being here. Stick around. A couple segments to go.
AFR.
Hey, look, you do have high school playoffs tonight. Get on by at Pluckers. Before the game, before you hit that high school playoff game, maybe right now, 5:30, you want to go grab a bite to eat, you can go eat at Pluckers. Maybe after the game, remember, Pluckers is open till midnight or later every night of the week. So after the game, get on by either Pluckers location. You got like 5 college football games tonight on all different kinds of networks. If you want to watch them, get on by Pluckers. Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery via Uber Eats or DoorDash. But, man, you've got a handful of football games tonight, so if you want to check them out, you can get by Pluckers. If you want to watch a full day of games tomorrow, get by either Pluckers location. Hey, look, it is a home game for LSU. Remember, that Nicholson location just south of campus, they do have Go Cups, and that is legal, believe it or not, on campus. So you can go grab a beer at Pluckers or a cocktail and park over in that area if you'd like to, and then walk, kind of peruse toward Tiger Stadium. It's at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling along. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Football Friday edition of AFR. We will get you a final thought and pick on the Tigers and the Warhawks tomorrow from Tiger Stadium coming up here in just a little bit. Let's give a final preview prediction here on Saints and Eagles. So there's just no good way to say this. The Saints are as decimated as they have been throughout this year with injuries. It's never been worse than it is today. On top of all of the injuries the Saints have already been battling throughout this season, today just got even worse. We learned today that the Saints are going to be without Alvin Kamara for this football game, and they're also going to be without their two starting offensive tackles. Both Teron Armstead and Ryan Ramczyk have officially been ruled out for the game on Sunday. So that means you were already down Andrus Peat, and now you're starting left guard, and now you're down your two starting left tackles, or your two starting tackles. So James Hurst will play left tackle, Calvin Throckmorton will play left guard, and maybe Jordan Mills at right tackle filling in for Ryan Ramczyk. We'll see. On top of that, Alvin Kamara is a no-go. So your best offensive player, your best player, is not on the field for the second consecutive week. You don't need me to spell it out. You know the issues with the receiving core and with the offense getting going. And with all of those issues, if you take the best player off the field, it only compounds the issues that you have. Ty Montgomery also is out because of the hand injury. He had that gruesome finger injury last week, so he's out for this game. Did not practice all week. And Taysom Hill, who did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, was limited on Friday, and he's officially listed as questionable with a foot injury. The style that Taysom Hill plays, if he is that limited physically by that foot, it's hard to imagine being effective, even if he does play. When you flip it over to the other side of the field, the Saints defense is already without Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We knew that as he went to IR. And now two interior players, Malcolm Roach and Tano Passanio, they're both out. Roach with a knee injury, Passanio with an ankle injury. You don't need me to spell it out for you, but this is a Philadelphia Eagles team that, while they do have Devontae Smith, their first-round draft pick, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Alabama, they're a team that centers around running the football. That's what they are with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. We kind of talked about it when he was coming out, that he was probably going to be an NFL running back, and he's really just he's a running back playing quarterback who's become sort of proficient at throwing the football. But Miles Sanders, who went over 100 yards against the Saints a year ago, is on IR, so he's not available for this football game if there is one sort of saving grace there. When you look at this matchup, the story of the game is likely going to be the who wins the battle of good on good. And a year ago, that was Philly. Remember, the Saints had that long streak without allowing a 100-yard rusher. The Eagles broke it last year when both Sanders and Jalen Hurts went over 100 yards rushing. Since that game, the Saints have not allowed another 100-yard rusher. But the Eagles are third in the NFL in rushing offense. The Eagles rush it for 144 yards a game. That's the third best in the league. Meanwhile, the Saints' rush defense is the best in the NFL at 72.9, just 73 yards a game. So the third best rushing offense against the best rushing defense, that is the good-on-good matchup in this game because the Saints are so limited offensively. They already were limited offensively, and now when you take out your two starting tackles, Alvin Kamara is not going to be there. Taysom Hill's questionable. Your receiving core has been completely impotent all year. Mark Ingram's playing with a lot of passion and fire, but he's going to be running behind a makeshift offensive line and not in any way complemented by the passing game. This is easy. Philly's going to stack the box. They're going to stop Mark Ingram, and they're going to make Trevor Siemian beat him throwing the football. And I don't know if they can do that. The Eagles do allow 247 pass yards a game, and their scoring defense has been okay. The Saints are among the best in the league at 19 points a game. The Eagles allow 23 points a game, so about 4 points more per game than New Orleans. The Saints are going to have to stop the run and make Philly try to beat them throwing the football. Because I don't know if Jalen Hurts can. I like the Saints secondary. And I don't know if Jalen Hurts can beat you through the air. And if he can't, you keep this a low-scoring game. And if you keep this a low-scoring game, then you have the opportunity to do what you almost did a week ago in a low-scoring game, is find a way to make a play late and win the game. That's what it's going to take for this team. The weather is going to be a non-factor. Should be 57 degrees and sunny in Philadelphia tomorrow. So normally, when the Saints would play road games in late November with Drew Brees, we'd worried about the cold weather because as he progressed in his career and the arm strength went down, as finesse as the Saints offense was, and precise, I should say, as it was on precision passing, weather conditions could affect that. This won't be an issue. Weather should not be an issue in this game. Have the Saints solved Jalen Hurts running the football? A year ago, a guy went over 100 yards. I'm going to go ahead and bank on the Saints having improved. As a matter of fact, Malcolm Jenkins, when he met with the media on Thursday, was asked about Jalen Hurts' ability to run the football and if they feel prepared for it.
You know, we've played against quarterbacks that can scramble. We watched the tape last year. It hurt us, the quarterback scramble, when we played them last year. So it's going to be a huge emphasis. Not going to be able to stop them from doing it. It's a big part of their game plan, but we got to be able to mitigate the big plays.
So, again, no Miles Sanders. That's another important part. That was one of the guys that went over 100 yards against New Orleans a year ago. So where does Philly's offense come from? I don't know. That's the saving grace, is that the Saints' defense is so good. They should keep this team in every game. The giant question is, where can the Saints generate any kind of offense? So I tend to look at, can you get a takeaway? Can you get a short field? Like, is there a possibility for a game-breaking play? And I don't see it. I don't see the game-breaker on the Saints team. I don't see that possibility. So you're going to have to win the turnover battle. If there's one spot where I think the Saints do have the edge, aside from run defense, and that's good on good like we talked about, it is turnover margin. The Saints are +5. On the season, the Eagles are +1. Both are positive in the turnover margin, but the Saints are +5. When you beat Tom Brady in the Bucs, you force Brady into 3 turnovers. It's easy to see how the Saints were able to win that game. They stole 3 possessions from the Bucs. One of them was a pick 6. So that's what it's going to take. I mean, I don't mean to sound super cliche guy, well, you got to protect the football and win the turnover battle, but that's literally it. When you're not good enough to generate big plays and sustained offense, and I don't think the Saints offense is, you're going to have to get advantageous things to bounce your way. And my God, if Brett Maher goes out to kick for the New Orleans Saints, make your damn kicks. Come on, brother. You're getting paid to do it. Go make kicks. If I were a betting man, there is no way at all I would play this game. I am a betting man, but I never bet Saints games because I don't trust myself. The Saints have not lost 3 in a row since 2016. That's how much of a model of consistency they have been in this era under Sean Payton. That was, of course, the last time they went 7-9. But nobody anticipated you actually winning in Tennessee. You were expected to win at home against the Falcons. You got to get that one back. The one you lost, you have to counterbalance that with one you're not expected to win. Maybe someone would say, well, that was Tampa. Maybe. But the Saints have flip-flopped these games at times already this year. We've gone through it. I mean, you blew out Green Bay, and then you got blown out by Carolina. Most thought that would be flipped. You won in New England, but you lost at home to the Giants. Most thought that would be flipped. You understand. Same thing with Tampa and Atlanta. I would love to pick New Orleans in this game. I just can't. It would be a total homer pick. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think you're talking about a teens football game, like a 21-17 type football game. I just hope that the Saints can steal a possession somewhere along the way and put themselves in position to make the play late to win it. One thing I would love to see is the roles reversed from what we've seen the last 2 weeks. Think of what happened in the Tampa Bay game. When the Saints got the lead late, it put the pressure on Tampa. it changed their dynamic of how they called plays and how they managed the clock. It was the opposite the last 2 weeks. The Saints were trying to make the play late against the Falcons and against Tennessee. Well, now the pressure is on you, and it changes how a coach calls plays and how he manages timeouts and how he manages the clock. And the clock is now another defender. So if the Saints can somehow find themselves into the lead late in the fourth quarter and make Jalen Hurts try to make a play to win the game, I like the Saints defense in that matchup. Can they get there is the big question. Until I see it, I can't pick it to happen. So I think the Eagles will win it in Philly and hand the Saints their third straight loss, but I'm sure hoping I'm wrong. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Their new state-of-the-art location right there on the Baton Rouge General campus. On Bluebonnet, you turn off of Bluebonnet onto Picardy. You come up to Suma right there on the right. You see that building on the right? The Williamson Eye Center is the first two floors right there. 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, y'all, been a great show, man. We appreciate you for hanging out. Again, no Jimmy, no Otterlocks on Fridays, and Theriot's already gone. So I'll just wrap up giving you some thoughts on LSU and ULM. We'll make a pick on that game to wrap up next. Glad you're hanging out with us here on the Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
AFR.
I just mentioned the Baton Rouge General. As a matter of fact, I was at the Baton Rouge General today. So really cool. They had the robotic surgery event over at the Baton Rouge General. So you've heard me talk about the Mako. Well, there's all different kinds of robotic devices that assist surgeons in the OR, which allow them to be more efficient. I tell you all the time, smaller incisions, less downtime, more precise. So anyway, got a chance to do this earlier today. The video's up on my Facebook page if you want to see it. Got to kind of play around with the robots. If you're watching, that's the screen of Dr. Doherty playing with one of the robots. If you're interested at all, I'm talking about for joint replacement, but so many other groundbreaking technologies. Check it out. Robotic surgery is amazing advancement, and some of this technology is exclusive in Baton Rouge and in Louisiana at the Baton Rouge General. Online, brgeneral.org. Learn more, brgeneral.org.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggies in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Football Friday edition of AFR. Thanks for hanging out. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Golf. Remember, tomorrow, as soon as the game goes final, T-Bob and I will be live for Whiskey and Wine from Don Juan Cigar Bar. You can come out and join us at Don Juan Cigar Bar, or if you cannot be there, join us on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook or YouTube. We'll be live there. As a reminder, that is an adult show. We drink, we smoke cigars, and we do curse. So there is some NSFW language, maybe not language appropriate for your children, especially with T-Bob. So, but join us. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully we see you at Don Juan, if not at Don Juan, on the show on Whiskey and Wine at 104.5 ESPN Facebook or YouTube channel. So LSU against ULM. Ed Ogeron, when he met with the media on Thursday, recapped a great week of practice.
Okay, I really think the guys have practiced well. We only want one day in pads this week. They should be fresh, ready to go. Mike Baskerville is still a question mark. It's going to be a game-time decision. I don't know if he'll be ready to play or not. We get Sage Ryan back. We get Ed Ingram back. The offensive line should be intact, ready to go. I feel good about our preparation. Max is our starting quarterback. He's going to be our quarterback. We'll go from there.
Couple things there. Baskerville, of course, has been really good opposite Damone Clark, so you hope he's able to go. He's toughed it out. Maybe give him the week off and get him ready to roll against A&M if he can go then. A lot of guys, of course, are still playing for the NFL. Sage Ryan's back. That's a gigantic help if you have Ryan and Cordell Flott out there, because now your boundary corners are Flott and Dwight McGlothern, and that allows Ryan to go back to the nickel instead of the sort of, game of musical chairs in the secondary LSU's had to play the past couple of weeks. So that should be a much added boost getting those guys back. And then what you heard Ed Ogeron say, Max Johnson is the starting quarterback. Garrett Nussmeier, who played the bulk of the game a week ago, Ed Ogeron did confirm will take the red shirt.
We talk to our team about competition all the time, and I want them to invite competition. Now, as it seems right now, Garrett is not going to play, so Max is our starter, and Garrett's going to take the red shirt year. And so if something comes after, Matt O'Dowd's going to have to go in.
So Matt O'Dowd is the walk-on from Florida. If anything happens to Max Johnson, Matt O'Dowd would be the guy. He was a 2-star out of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in South Florida. He's walked on, and he's now the backup quarterback. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but if it does, the big question now is, what does that mean for Nussmeier's future? If he's going to take the red shirt, does that mean he's essentially exiting stage left and will find a new place to play next season? Maybe, not necessarily. Probably depends on who the next coach is, and they have that conversation, but he's preserving that year in case if he needs it to play either here or elsewhere. Worth keeping an eye on that. Now, the Tigers will be thin at running back as well, as Ed Ogeron clarified.
Monty's not. Trey's not. Josh is doubtful. He's the other one I think that's doubtful that could play but maybe not play. So we got Ty and Corey Connor.
So Armani Goodwin is out. Trey Bradford won't play. And then Josh Williams, the former walk-on, obviously won't play as well as who we mentioned there. Ty Davis-Price has been your bell cow. You have Corey Kiner there as well to spell him. The only way that becomes an issue is if you have any type of injury. But realistically, I think we'd all be okay with a 2-back system. And if Ty Davis-Price helps LSU pace themselves to a lead, really good opportunity to sit him and get Corey Kiner some work there in the second half. The defense has obviously been playing very well for LSU, and that's going to be the key to this game. This is a pretty one-sided matchup. ULM has pulled some pretty significant upsets, none bigger than their win over Liberty earlier this year, where they won at 31-28 over Hugh Freeze's squad. but they also have a couple of ugly losses. They gave up 59 to App State. They allowed more than 50 to Coastal Carolina as well. LSU has been stuck in the mud offensively, but this is a game where you are just physically better than your opponent. ULM allows 464 yards of offense a game and 35 points a game. They've allowed 50 or more 3 times. If LSU can't get going offensively in this game, what can you even say? Terry Bowden is a noted program builder. He did it at South Alabama. He did it at Akron. I think he'll do it at ULM. He's already gotten some pretty nice wins at ULM this year. I don't think Saturday is one of those days. Hopefully this is a day where LSU does get the offense going, gets a little bit of a feel-good before next week against Texas A&M, where hopefully you have a really nice environment for Ed Orgeron's last game as the LSU head coach. I'll pick LSU to win this game, mostly because LSU's defense has been really good all year, and I think they'll be able to close it out. 38-13. I still think it's a lower-scoring game than most anticipate, but LSU 38-13. I'll pick them to beat the Warhawks Saturday in Tiger Stadium. Of course, we'll be back here Monday to recap all of it. LSU, ULM, the Saints, and the Eagles. And, of course, Monday, Basketball Tigers will be back on the floor as well against Belmont. So we'll look forward to a good Monday show, and we'll see you for it. Muse and Paulie, thanks so much. We appreciate you. Oh, I forgot. Are we going to do what we learned? Did you write anything down for what we learned? Muse didn't write anything down for what. Paul, did you learn anything? No, nobody learned anything today. So, Common Garden Variety Show. Nobody learned a damn thing. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. We'll see you Monday.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Check them out online or give them a call. But here's what will happen either way. You're going to talk to someone who's friendly, who has you and your family's objective in mind. Because at Relief Windows, that's what Brandon Holly has built his business around. Customer satisfaction. In a weird kind of way that makes sense, Brandon sometimes tells me, I actually like it when people complain, because when people complain, that's when we get to prove who we are as a business. And at Relief Windows, they will never take $1 from you until you're thrilled with the work that they do. What an amazing concept. It's just how they built the business. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank or vinyl siding. It's Relief Windows. Check them out online. reliefwindows.com.
Right now, at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get a new Highlander with 1.9% financing for 72 months, or we have several new Tundras in stock with the 5.7 V8 engine. So come see us today for your new Toyota. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.